Check. Testing 1 2. Check, check. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Testing, test 1 2, test 1 2. Microphone check, Kennedy Ventures. Test 1 2. Testing. Testing, check, check, audio check, test 1 2. Test, test.
Check, check.
Testing, test 1, 2. Audio check, Kennedy Ventures.
Am I loud enough? Yeah? Yeah.
Is it too loud?
Okay. I think
It's
we're
good?
good.
Okay.
I sold them to you 27.
Good evening. We're beginning our preview. Sorry for a later start. We had our board preview that was really fun. Took a little longer. And if you guys are online watching, please later when you get time, go to our Facebook page, Ottenwalter Showpigs, and we shared the live of our bores. We ran all of our bores and our stud through and talked about them. Me and Clay Parrish, who's here. This is Russel Pedrett speaking. Clay Parrish is here from the NSR, and we got to talk about the bores and got really good views of them. I know lots of folks in the world are starting to think about getting their sows bred, and so we took that as an opportunity, and we're honestly going to do that before all of our sales. It's a great excuse to get us all thinking about hogs, breeding hogs, and to show our bores off to the world. So please check that out. I'll ask you guys in the audience. We have a tremendous audience here. We're thankful to have you here. If you guys don't mind on Facebook, share our preview. That's helpful to us as well. We've got our sale tomorrow, Sunday, February 2nd. It starts at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to do another preview at 10 in the morning, but it's just going to be in person here on site. So for those of you online, check this out. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Dustin Andrus or Clay Parrish or Blake Kennedy. All of our numbers are listed on our sales site and on showpig.com. So these first two in our preview are lots 102 and 103. The 103 is the predominantly white barrel. He is sired by All By Myself, which is a York board upper hand. You'll see a lot of York sired pigs. I wouldn't say a lot, but you'll see some throughout our set. We had some in our last set. This would be a really fun barrow for those of you going to show at Expo in the Pure Influence division. We've got 2 or 3 of these All By Myself sired barrows that are fun. If you're wanting a county fair pig or a show pig that can class as a light cross at the jackpots, this guy fits the bill and should be really competitive as well. He's a big-bodied, big, stout, chested kind of deal. There's a lot of muscle in this pig. He's going to be a very easy pig to manage. That's a pig that you can take home, put him on a very little amount of feed and slow him down a little bit if you want to, or you could grow him right into a Mayfair. He's got a lot of natural width. He's just a good, solid pig. The blue one over there is lot 102. He would be a Savior American Spirit. Savior's a boar you'll see a bunch of pigs out of. He's at Rick Whitman's. He's a boar that sires a lot of muscle. This blue guy is a big, thick, big-ended kind of deal. He's got a lot of bone and stoutness to him, and he'd be another one I'd say you could feed into a May show. These are 2 of the bigger pigs in the sale, just size-wise. He'd feed right into a May show. He'd be a really fun light cross, jackpot kind of pig. He could also, he's got enough body and genuine width, he could be fed for quite a while and slowed down quite a bit. So 102 and 103, 103 is the blue, 102 is the more white barrel. I said that wrong. Yeah. 103 is the more white barrel, 102 is the blue.
Yeah, the predominantly white one here, if you have the opportunity to show at Expo in Louisville with the Pure Influence, I think he can do it and be very competitive. I was talking with Russell and Dustin this morning about that division and how much it grows, and really excited to see the numbers this summer. But I think that one can be ultra competitive in that division. But he can be competitive in any light cross division you're going to show at in the country, and certainly I think can do so at the highest end. This blue belted hog here, 102, very good opportunity. If you have a May show in early June, I think muscle shape. Looks like a market hog, really good light cross. To have that much muscle and shape and still stay square and true all the way to the ground, really good blue pig here. Good pair to start off the preview.
We've got 3 coming in here that are lots 99, 100, and 101. They are non-mates. Lot 99, we'll talk about first. That's the little blue barrow. He does not have a photo on the site on showpig.com. He didn't want to take pictures photo day. Sometimes they'll do that to us. But this is a pig that needs to be focused on. He was one we really kind of focused on quite a bit going through yesterday and this morning as I went through the barns. He's a little blue barrel. He's sired by 40-6, which is a boar at Kurt Morgan's we bought into last year. And you'll see several of our better pigs this set are sired by 40-6. 40-6 is kind of a line bred boar over there at Kurt's that's sired by Sunset. He's a blue belted color, and he's doing a very, very good job, I'll tell you that. This 99 is small. He fits a lot of stuff. I know there's a lot of folks from Oregon looking for July Fair pigs here. This guy fits really well. He's got a lot of natural muscle. He's got a big hip. He's got a big chest. He fits our state fair. He fits, I think, even into, those Midwest state fairs and CYE as a light cross. Really, really nice pig. That's 99. That's the one Jax has got there, the little blue belted barrow. And then we've got 98. We've got 101. That's the other blue barrow that Talen's got over here. He'd be a mate to the Savior barrow we just showed you. So be a Savior, game on. He is just a very solid pig, good design, a lot of muscle in these Savior pigs. I know Jackson County Fair, we have some buyers. They don't let you feed paling at that fair. This kind of build is something you want to look at. You want to look at, his muscularity, his bigger pin set. You're going to not need paling with a pig like this. Very nice barrow, paling or not. Very nice light cross jackpot kind of barrow as well. And then lot 100 is the black barrow, is a different league, hands to yourself. That's a really nice litter of pigs. There was honestly a keeper gilt we kept that I thought was a really, really fun one too. Skeleton is awesome on this pig. He's probably built to feed into a show in June. Bone work and just stoutness of skull, kind of trademark of what different leagues been doing really well. There's a lot of different leagues throughout the sale. I tell you, this guy's a great option for one if you're watching the sale and want to get a kind of a high-end different league barrow. You haven't got one yet. This guy's one that's on down the line that might be a really, really good buy. He's going to feed into something pretty special. And again, his tag is 100.
Yeah, we'll just start with the 100 pig here. A little greener than some of the other different leagues. And like Russell said, I think if you're paying attention, this would be a fun one to feed because you can push and shove on him to get to an end point, and that's a really long stride and really comfortable athletic type of a market hog. And the bigger blue there, 101, very shapely, very muscular type of hog that still offers look and profile and design from the side, a really good option. Another one I think could finish a little early as compared to some of the other ones here in the offering. 99 here, this blue hog I think is worth studying, and if you can feed, or if you have a light cross division at a Midwest State Fair, I think he's a good opportunity for one that can be very competitive. I think if you're listening from the states in the Midwest and are looking for a blue barrow, I think this might be the one. He's got look, profile, design, still proportions right, still balances right, and does it with feature and added foot at the ground. So really good trio.
So we're starting with some of the bigger boys here on this end of the barn, and we've got lots 104 and 105 in now. So these are two mate barrows. They're sired all by myself. I lied to you. They're not mate barrows, but they are both sired by all by myself. So 104, which is the smaller barrow over on the far side, is all by myself on a three-peat. Very, very impressive. Sal would actually be one of the sisters to the mom of our boar we have called Lonely Road. The other guy there is all by myself on an out of line, and that's lot 105. He's the bigger barrow. So 104 is the smaller one. 105 is the bigger one. We're really impressed with this pair, and like I say, we used with the York boar all by myself to make some females. We didn't even really realize we were making really good peer influence barrows for the World Pork Expo or NJSS shows that a lot of guys will go to. But these guys fit that bill really, really well. They are both solid white. I think this bigger 105 might have a little dot on his forehead, but nothing that can't be dealt with. They could be York classifying barrows as well for these jackpot shows we have coming up. Really, really high on them. I'd tell you, back in the barn, I was really impressed with 104, but as you study the 105, all he needs to do is just slow down a little bit. He's getting big. He's in that chip barn. It's warm. He's on good Mormon sailburst feed, and he's growing. Slow him down, and this is a really, really nice pair. If you're wanting York pigs, if you're wanting peer influence pigs, I encourage you to study them. 104, 105.
Yeah, another good pair of pure influence hogs here, and just like the last sale, really impressed with these. And this one over here to the left, 105, hand feed this hog and just slow him down just a touch, and I think you're really, really going to be impressed. Whether you're going to show him as a pure influence hog or as a Yorkshire classifying hog, I think very good opportunity to be competitive in those divisions. And then this 104, probably a later end point than the other hog in here, so certainly take that into consideration. Very stout with a good look from the side, still got muscle, still got shape, opened up off both ends of his skeleton. Good pair of pure influence hogs.
So we've got 106 and 107 in, and we have these Chesters and land races, and we always kind of put them a little lower in the sale because we know that our buyers that are wanting those are going to buy them, whether they're first or last, and so we try to get the crosses going first. But if you're in the market to show a purebred Chester, really looking at these. We're proud of them. These are sired by Bel Air. They're on a ready-made 1034 sow that we bought from West Texas Genetics. We're very impressed with their program, and honestly, the genetics they've got, we feel is going to really work well with the Chester program we've gotten built. This is actually the first litter out of Bel Air. These are thick pigs. They fit the World Pork Expo, in my opinion, for size perfectly. They could also probably work for the CPS, the Team Purebred Show in Springfield. Again, their tags are 106 and 107. The one that Jax has there that's a little smaller is 106. Talon has 107. He's just a rib longer bodied. I know back looking at them, they're very close. Dustin likes 107. I liked 106 earlier today, but I'd encourage you to study them. They'd certainly be really fun to roll to like Revival or a Jackpot Show in the white OPB division out here. Even these county fairs we've got, a lot of them are having breed divisions now. So I'd encourage you to check them out. These pigs are typically a little cheaper than our crossbreds. If you're wanting to find a banner, this is a really good venue. And they are pedigreed, and our county fair here is the only county fair that has a pedigreed division. Not sure why we do, but they'd be great for the Colusa County Fair as well. Show as a purebred Chester and try to win the purebred division. So 106, 107.
Really good pair of pedigreed Chester barrows here, and they've got bone, they've got feature, they still have look from the side, and on top of their skeletons, that's a lot of muscle and shape and good turn to their ribs. This 106, I think, can compete at a very high level, and then 107 is going to be a heavyweight, obviously, with his frame and makeup, and I think at his end point at 285 pounds is going to be hard to get around. Good pair, I think. If you have the chance to jackpot and there's a Chester division or an OPB division or what have you, I think these would be a really good pair to have and compete pretty tough early because they've got that early shape and muscle. But I think at their end point in June or maybe early July, I think they could be really hard to get around in a Chester Barrow show.
So it's a good time to tune in here. 3 and 4 and 35 are in the ring. These are three that we were very excited about going through in the barns. Lots 3 and 4 are the two belted pigs, and they are litter mates. If you're online looking at photos, there is no photo of lot 3. That was the other pig. We usually are able to get photos of everybody. This time we struggled with lot 3. And that other lot that's lower in the sale, he just didn't want to cooperate sale day. Very, very neat pigs. 3 and 4, obviously litter mates. They are different league American Spirit. That American Spirit sow is an American Spirit wedding night. She's very, very impressive, one of our better ones. And I tell you, this litter is really, really stout. What Different League does really well is put that skull and bone and look and kind of added hair, and these guys do that at a very high level. This 4 is kind of cruising around the ring pretty quick there for Jax. He's the one with the white tail. 3's the one that does not have a white tail, and he's a little more tentative, and this is the first time these pigs have ever been out here. But study these guys. 3's really stout and dense, and his bone work. 4's got running gears for days. I think Midwest State Fair guys, CYE guys, certainly July Fair folks, these guys fit the bill really, really well, and we think they can win at the highest level. 35, the little blue guy, is also a fun pig. He's sired by the 40-6 boar at Kurt Morgan's. You'll see a lot of our better pigs in the set are sired by that boar. And he's out of a May We All sow. He's got a really big, bold chest, as does his brother. You'll see his brother here in a sec. He's got a big hip and stifle, and he is very, very square. He's great on his pasterns. He's great in his squareness of his hock. He is a light cross option. I feel that his framework and his width should enable this pig to show a long time. I think if you want to go to CYE 1st of August or Indiana State Fair, early August, I don't think that's a problem with this pig. I think he fits that really, really well. And I think all three of these probably can fit venues as late as August. Very fun trio. I'll let Clay talk about them.
Well, if you're not watching or paying attention, or you've got the preview on your phone back home, and you're just making dinner or whatever you're doing, I would study this trio of male hogs. And we looked at them earlier this morning, and these were three of the highlights, and I think they're going to be sale highlights. The three hog. I looked over at Blake's notes here, and he wrote, "Hey, let's take a look here." This was one of my favorite hogs when we looked this morning. He still is this evening here. There's not a lot that needs to be said about a hog like that. He's just really good. If you want to be competitive, and I don't know exactly where he ends, but I think that can be up to the buyer, because I think you could show that one a long time and be competitive at all stages of his life. Is he intact, Russell? He is intact, so take that into consideration as well. The four hog, tag 4 with the white tail, he's probably just a little skinnier and greener than the 3, but I wouldn't be afraid to feed that one either. I think he's built for the long haul to push and shove on and really, really have a good chance at the end. Length of stride, look is great. And then this blue hog here, if you've got the opportunity to show in the light cross division, I don't know that there's a better one to start with than this one here. That's a really stout hog. Whatever color you want to paint him, he's going to be stout. And, has look and design from the side. Stout scold, comes at you open. Really square. Russell said it earlier. How square he leaves you is very impressive for that hog to still have that much muscle and still be that square and comfortable and flexible. So really good trio. Kind of some sale highlights here. I'd certainly think tomorrow will be fun.
So we have 33, 36, and 38 have just come in, and they're non-mates. I'll talk about Jax's first, which is 36. So he's a mate to that little blue barrel that just exited 35. So it'd be 40-6, may we all. Really high on this pig as well. That pair really hit us as we were going back through the barn, and like his brother, I would say the width here is really impressive, and it's hard to win a barrel show, or at least a really tough barrel show, without a great chest. And these guys have got it, and it's really nice when you have it. It's one of those things you can't really, you can't do yourself. You can't feed it. You can't, make it. The pig has to start with it. That pig's front end is very impressive. He's got a big hip and stifle, and he's just dead square behind. Really like that guy. I think he could fit and show in June and be really tough. I think he could show in July or even early August. It'd probably be really tough as well. So that's 36, which is the blue belted pig. Palin over there with the blue pig, blue butt pig, is 33. That is a Family Man Last Dance. So it would actually be Family Man back on the grandma of the different League 112 boars that we've got that we're pretty excited about. That litter's been really strong. I kept 2 littermate gilts that I think are phenomenal. This guy's if you study him, he's got a lot of bone and hair and just ruggedness to his features. He's a really comfortable skeleton kind of pig. Like most of the Family Mans, his shape is really, really good. He looks like you can kind of feed on him pretty hard. He's got some natural width, and I wish he'd show off just a little better. Like I say, this is the pig's first time in this ring. But that's a pretty good pig. He probably could be fed and probably best to be shown in June, but certainly not out of the idea to take him to July as well. Again, that'd be 33, sired by Family Man. Then the solid white pig there would be lot 38, and he is a heavyweight. Those heavyweight pigs have been pretty impressive. His mom would be a Last Dance sow. He's got a red a red sister. There's quite a few in this litter. They're all different colors throughout the sale. This guy is solid white, would class as a York. He's got a big back. He's got a big pin set. These heavyweights are stout-skulled and have a lot of power to them. I sure wouldn't be afraid of this one. He's one of those you just can't really pick a hole in. Probably could feed into June or July if you want him to. Got a lot of muscle. Probably fits the Jackson County thing really, really well. Would also be a fun one for a breed show, shows a York. So, again, that is 38.
Man, 38 makes me want to tell people to use heavyweight on some white sows and make some classifying barrows, in the southwest part of the world, because that's a neat hog, and I think if you have the opportunity to show him as a classified Yorkshire, I think you'd be very, very competitive. A blue-belted hog, love the litter mate, like this one too, probably earlier endpoint than his litter mate, but still has that same bone, feature, muscle, and squareness that his brother did, and still does it with a big skull and look as well. And then the blue-butted hog still got muscle and shape, but maybe just a little skinnier and greener. I think built right and can really be shoved and pushed on to get to June or probably early July maybe as well. Another good trio of light cross barrows here.
$39 and $40 just coming in here. So this 39 is a litter mate to that white 38 we just showed you. And they'll sell choice tomorrow because they're litter mates. So, the high bidder will get to choose whether they want the white pig or the belted pig. But very similar to White Barrow, obviously. He's the belted one out here. Again, that's 39. Heavyweight, last dance is his pedigree. Lots of muscle in this guy. And that's good. If you're wanting to show in June or July, you can work with that. You can sit on your pigs. You can slow them down a little bit. Be a really good one for those folks in Jackson County looking for pigs middle part of July. But honestly, he fits a lot of places. I think he'd be fun to show in Exclusive here in June as well, or if you're wanting an expo barrow. He's got a sharp front. He's got a lot of muscle. He's got a bigger rear end, and he's got a square hock. The other pig there is 40. And he is a 40-6 Outbreak is what his pedigree is. Just a very nice barrow as well. His design is good. His flexibility is very good. He's one that honestly could get overlooked just because he might not be the first one that you kind of see, but at the same time, you don't really find the problem with him. At these fairs and shows out here, a lot of the pigs we'll win with are just good, complete barrows barrows or gilts that are presented well, have a good design, have a little more extension to them. This kind of pig wins a lot of pig shows, I guess is what I'm trying to tell you, especially if you're out here looking for a June fair. I think he fits great. So he would be lot 40. The belt is 39.
Yeah, lot 40. We don't talk about it enough. You don't have to make excuses for that hog. He's good build. He's good designed. Very comfortable. Profiles and balance as well. And like Russell said, that wins pig shows at a lot of places. 39, that one's sharp look from the side is impressive. And he does it opened up at the base of his chest floor. He's got muscle and width and still got shape up high and still motors around the ring really well. I think that could be a very competitive hog. I think if you're still hunting a dark cross barrow for the expo or something into June or early July, I think he could be very, very competitive at any pig show in the country.
So we have 34 and 37 have just come in, and 34 is the blue, 37 is the red head with the kind of the red spot on his butt. 34 we can talk about first. He's a litter mate to smaller, that little 33 that we showed you earlier. So would be a family man. Last Dance is his pedigree. Just a good pig. These family mans, like we said before, they have a lot of muscle and a lot of shape, and they have a little more extension to them. This is the kind of pig, if you're showing in June, if you're going to Colusa County Fair, maybe San Joaquin County Fair, maybe the World Park Expo. I mean, this pig's maturity fits that time frame. He's just a good solid barrow. Can be fed kind of hard, and he's going to be stout enough. He's going to be shapely enough. This is the kind that does really, really well. He's got a little swelling there. I'll tell everyone we castrated pigs, not all of them, but some of them, about 10 days ago. So if you see that, we monitor stuff pretty closely every day. His is a little more swollen than some of the others, but certainly nothing to worry about there. The other barrow, again, the red head is, I believe, 37, right? Yes. He'd be actually a litter mate to lots 3 and 4. He's big brother. 3 and 4 are those littler guys that we're really, really high on. I'd tell you, don't miss this guy. He's a little bit bigger. He probably can show a little earlier, maybe sometime in June. He's got plenty of density himself. He's got a big skull. He's got big legs and features. He's going to be one that I think turns out to be pretty fun, and that color is always fun to work with too. So again, 37 and 34 is the blue.
37 is wanting to be very playful out here and get around, but knowing the litter mates, I'm very confident that hog's going to have a chance at the end. He's stout, he's got look, he's square. Sans the red head and ugly color, I think he's a darn good hog. And I love the litter, and certainly that one's got a chance as well. And then the blue hog, that's a muscular type of a blue that's still got bones, still square and comfortable with look as well. I think he's probably got an earlier end point than some of the other ones in the sale. So if you're still hunting, May, certainly June, I think he can fit that bill.
Okay, so this is an important litter to kind of pay attention to. Two of them are. So there's 20, 21, and 60 have just come in. 60's the little belt, and we can talk about him first. He's a savior pig. He'd be a savior, American Spirit. And he's got some blue mates. I think we've already showed you a couple of them. That litter's kind of scattered throughout. There's blue and belted pigs. This would be a really good July Fair pig. I know those guys in Jackson County need muscle. We know that. We've got to work with that without that Paline deal. This one fits that really, really well. Grow this pig slow. Certainly you don't have to be in Jackson County to like this pig. Grown slow, he's going to be really fun. He's got big legs, big skull, big center body. Looks like he could feed. He'd certainly be a great CYE barrow as well, or if you're wanting to go to a Midwest State Fair. He fits the bill good there for that. Got big legs, got all the right pieces, just needs a little time. The other two out here are 20 and 21. These are the you're going to see a lot. I think we have 6 barrows in this litter throughout the sale. 4 of them will sell together. I think it's 20, 21, 22, and 23. These are the 2 that are calico. The other 2 are black-headed. They are different league Foresight pigs. And Mama would be a Foresight Jack Daniels out of our very, very good stuff. I'd tell you, study their skeletons. We think these guys are great for maturity, especially being different league pigs. They maybe don't look like they're as thick as what they are. You get on either end of them, they're opened up really good. They got a big pin set, especially that 21 Palin's got over there is the smaller one. 20's the taller one over here that Talin's got. And those 2 are different. 20 probably could show in June. 21 could probably show in July. But study those pigs. We're pretty proud of them. The 20 was a one-nutter. We had him fixed the other day. If you see a little swelling in his flank, that's what that is. We think very highly of that pair. So, again, they are different league Foresight pigs, 20 and 21.
20 and 21, the mates, man, they're stout at the ground, big-footed, still got muscle. Obviously, by the one that fits your endpoint, but I think they could both be competitive at a high level. And then this 60 here, thinner belted hog, his ceiling's very high, I think. If his flexibility and length of hip with that much bone and feature and look, those are combinations that are hard to do, and when you do it, you're usually rewarded. I think that 60 needs to be high on a lot of people's list. If you're from the Midwest, and I certainly think he can get to a Midwest State Fair for sure, but also I think July's no problem either. I think he's probably got a variety of endpoints, and buy him how you like him, but this one needs to be high on the list.
We have 22 and 23 have just come in, and those are the two mates we were just talking about. So they're mates to those two calicos that are 20 and 21. And there's two more mates we'll show you as well. But different league, Foresight's the pedigree here. I know these two are blackheads, and I tell you that I did the same thing you probably are doing, is not really paying a lot of attention to them. But when you kick these pigs out, these pigs are very, very impressive. 22 is the one that's just a blackhead. 23's got the spot on the side of his hip. 23's got a little bit more hip and stifle to him. 22's probably just a little stouter bone-wise. Study these pigs. They're very, very good. I think both of them can fit into like a CYE Midwest State Fair maturity, definitely into July. They're not going to get that big frame-wise. They are very wide coming and going, just genuine width. Their pasterns and feet and toes are great. They're stout enough. These are good pigs. I feel like there's going to be some good buys on these guys tomorrow. I know a lot of folks coming to me trying to win county fairs in July. I'm going to tell them all, look at this litter of pigs, because they're pretty impressive.
Yeah, awesome litter, and these two certainly rise to the top as far as bone and feature and look. Probably a little skinnier and greener than some of the others in the sale, and that's why Russell's telling you pay attention and do your homework, because I think they could be bought for the right price and still be competitive. At whatever show your endpoint is. I think these two have a chance, and they're not the early Bloomier ones like maybe some of the other ones in the sale, but I think they'll be the kind that in the end you'll be able to push and shove on. Nice pair, really good litter, makes you confident that they're going to feed.
Well, as promised, here's your litter mates number 5 and 6. So like I say, this litter's been really impressive. These guys are a little lower in the sale. They're the two bigger ones. They are lots 56 and 57. So again here, different league. Foresight is the pedigree. I will tell you, sometimes when you're breeding sows and you have more than one to breed, you might make a mistake. And I don't know that it's a mistake, because like I say, I like these pigs. But I bred a black-headed boar to a black-headed sow. So that's sometimes, where you get different leagues. It really doesn't sire that many blackheads. But if you breed them to a blackhead sow, you might get a blackhead or two. So that's my thought process on that. Might have messed that up, but like I say, we are very pleased with the litter and how good they look. 56 is the kind of blackhead here that Palin's got, and 57 is the painted bear there that Talin's got. These guys have a little more size to them. Probably could show in June. I'd tell you they're very, very stout. Palin's especially in through his skull, and just, the more belted painted one there, in through his skull and just, front arm and stuff. His hair, his shag is really good. He's got a nice big hind leg that sits down right. The one Palin's got over there is 56, and he's probably not as stout, but his design is great. Up ahead of his blade is really attractive. Really nice pair here. I sure wouldn't be sitting on my hands. If you're wanting to, be competitive at a show in June, these two are going to be good buys.
Yeah, they're both built so well and so correct in their skeleton and well balanced and give you a good look from the side. A pair that obviously they don't need to be held till August by any means, but I think June is a heck of an endpoint for this pair, and buy the one that you like. But I love the hip and the hind leg construction and how good they are when they leave you. Still got muscle and shape. Another different league. I think certainly is going to win a lot of pig shows, and I think if he can continue to make pigs that are easy to sell like these, that are just going to be correct and built right, he's certainly going to be here a long time. Good pair, good litter.
'58, '59 have just come in, and I really like this pair as well. So the '59 is the belted one over there, and '58 is the more kind of black barrel that's got white front legs. We can talk about him first. We've showed you several mates to him. Like I say, that's that Savior litter. So he's a mate to that little stout. I believe it was lot 60 Savior barrel. There's a big blue mate that he's got as well that's a little lower. I think it's about 100 or 101. But impressive litter. He's a big-backed pig. These Savior pigs have had a lot of power in them. They've had a lot of bone and skull, and just topside power is very impressive. I'd tell you that one be a good June endpoint barrow that probably needs to slow down, get out of the chip barn, but he's not showing off the best, but that's a pretty nice pig. Just stout everywhere, and stout never is bad. This other barrow that Jax has got there is lot 59, right, Jax? Yes, 59 is the belted barrow. He's a neat pig. He's also a Savior. His mom was the Grand at Coba in 23 that we bought at OYE. She was a $37,000 gilt purchase we made that we wanted to kind of get some new blood into our program. She's a rightfully so Echo, was bred by TKO. We bred her to Savior, wanting to get some females, and we did. And I tell you, this is the best barrel prospect in the litter. Pretty fun pig. His skeleton is awesome. He's just got a very, very good look to him. There's a lot of muscle in this guy. When you get on either end of him, he's built right. He's one that, I was telling somebody earlier looking for a July Fair barrow. Just a very safe bet that this guy's not going to fall apart on you. His feet and legs and toes all point in the right direction. His pasterns are going to be good. He's probably going to be one that's going to be there in the end for you. So I would study him pretty hard. That's 59. Again, the black one, more black one is 58. He's the big stout mammoth over there. So 58, 59.
Both of these hogs, if you can see on the top side of their body, those are shapely market hogs that have true muscle and shape. You're not going to have to use a feed bucket to give them muscle and shape. But when they leave you, and I'm going to sound like a broken record all day, and Russell and the crew have done a good job of keeping these hogs so square and true when they go away from you. And that's because when I watch Russell judge pig shows, he doesn't like bow-legged pigs. And these hogs are certainly not that, but to have that much muscle and shape, usually you see a little give at that hock. These hogs don't do that. I would be very comfortable buying either of these hogs and feeding them to your endpoint in June, early July, certainly. And I'd say you're going to have a chance. The sock-footed hog, I think, just that added stoutness and feature and look, I think, is very impressive. And then Blake, was talking about this belted hog. He must have liked Mommy pretty good, because when Russell mentioned what Mommy was, he kind of perked up. So a really good pair. I think certainly don't need a lot of excuses on this pair with muscle and shape and look like that.
85 and 86 just come in, and this is a nice little pair of gilts. They're litter mates. They're sired by Sunset on a wedding night prestige sow. They're actually out of an older sow. Wedding night is getting a little bit older in the pedigree. So you hear wedding night, you know that sow's got a little more age to her. She's been a very productive sow for us, has made a lot of winners. Sunset actually brings a lot of the same genetics that wedding night does, which was wedding night sire that Kurt Morgan used. A lot of that stuff. There's a lot of big shot way back in the pedigrees. A lot of, what's wedding night sire? I don't know why I can't think of that. Wintex boar that got best man. A lot of best man in the pedigrees in this stuff. I'd say if you counted, there'd be a lot of shots of that. Well, as a result, you look at these pigs; they're moderate and stout and wide and just good skeletons. So that's what these two are. I'd say don't miss these. I know a lot of folks needing market hogs. Gilts like this are going to be better buys tomorrow than barrows like this. Tag 86 is the one that Taylon's got there with the dot in the middle of her back. Tag 85 is the one that doesn't have a dot in the middle of her back. They're very similar in their build. 85 is probably just a little shorter bodied. But both of them are going to be very nice. And another thing I'd tell you is if you're looking for a female you can show all summer, make a sow out of, these two fit the bill really well there. Their color's good. They're going to get along at the jackpots and do well and be probably the best when they're big, but then they'll make really good sows.
Yeah, last sale I told Russell I really like these Sunset pigs, and certainly these two are no different. Good opportunity to buy gilts that can be competitive, whether you're showing breeding gilts or you can take a gilt as a market hog at your show. You're going to be very competitive because they're just good hogs. Moderate about their design, and I think still good about their look, and very stout, good at the ground. A good opportunity to buy a gilt, be competitive all spring and summer long, and then have the chance at the end to either keep her or cash her in to sell her to somebody who's looking to buy their next the next building block of their sow herd. Good pair.
'27 and '84 have just come in. 27 is our red belted gilt, and '84 is our black belted gilt over there. We can talk about 27 first. She's got a bunch of mates throughout the sale. White ones, belted ones. She's, I think, the only red one in the litter, but she's pretty neat. She'll sell with her litter mate that we'll show you here in a second, who is a black-headed gilt, 27. But she's really nice. Heavyweight last dance is the pedigree. And as stout as those heavyweights have been, I'd tell you I really get excited about this one's maturity because I think she's a little bit just greener through her center body. She's got good extension up front. A lot of folks want to go to those jackpots. There's a lot of jackpots in the month of May in the Northwest. This one would get along really well, I think. That color pattern is going to catch their eye. She's, one that you could probably show quite a bit and just naturally feed into July without really having to hold her really hard. She's going to have enough width behind to probably work with you on that, and I think just a really nice pig. Again, that's 27. Then the other one is 84, the belted gilt. She's another savior. The 84, the savior mom on those, little different deal there. She's, I believe, is a game on mama behind those. We had quite a few of those saviors out of this litter and the 163s that found their way to the sale because there's just so much muscle in them. I'd tell you the same thing with her, that as stout as those saviors have been, for her to be a little greener bodied, I'm encouraged to see how she'll grow. I think she's going to be one that be another one that'll be easy to get to July, probably show well throughout her whole career.
That is a pair of gilts that have a wild look from the side, and they are a little skinnier in terms of their center body, but I don't think that hurts them at all because they still have shape on the top side of their skeletons, but this red belted pig, if we painted her black and had a perfect belt on her, we'd bid on her for a real long time, Russell. And Blake's looking at me funny because he agrees, and it's going to be on his list. That's a very neat pig. That sans the color, I think she needs to be towards the top of a gilt buyer's list. And then the traditionally belted hog here, another one. If she was a little sappier centered and juicier, we'd certainly be talking about her probably higher. So pay attention if you're looking for gilts that have good pedigrees that you can breed on once you're done showing. But not only that, but be competitive throughout their whole lives. I think this is a really good pair.
Okay, these next two are 82 and 83. And so 80, is that right? That doesn't look right. 27 and 84, I'm sorry. So 27.
These are 82 and 83.
These are 82 and 83? Yep. Okay, sorry, I had that right. I had that wrong. 82 and 83 is correct. The black-headed gilt is 82, and she's a litter mate to 27, we just showed you. And then 83, solid black gilt, is actually a litter mate to the belted one we just showed you. So she'd be a savior game on. She is the biggest savior, this black one. We can talk about her first. Again, she's 83. Biggest savior gilt we have in the sale. She's got a lot of bone and power. When you get in behind this gilt, her rear leg is very, very big. In front of her, her skull is very, very big. And like I say, these saviors are really cranked with muscle. Bone is very impressive. She looks like a gilt. Like I say, they've been in the chip barn. We keep it 74 degrees in there, and they grow. She needs to probably go home, slow down just a little bit, and I think she'd relax just a little bit. If she looks, kind of tentative out here, she is. But that one's going to be a fun one, and I think a really easy one to hold on, and probably could do that for quite a while. Okay, so I was right at the end of the day. Makes me feel good. 28. We said 82, but it is 28. So because I was just thinking she sells with the sister, the red, 27. So that is correct. So this black-headed gilt will sell with her sister. She's lot 28, not 82. We had her wrote down wrong over here, so that's our bad. Blackhead's 28. Heavyweight, last dance, wedding night is the pedigree. We talked about that red belt. She's one of my favorite gilts in the sale. The sister here is honestly a little bigger and a little stouter boned and just has a little more to her than the red belt. You guys study them, buy them the way you like them. That's a really nice pair. There's a lot of muscle in them. I tell you the same thing I said about her sister. Those heavyweights have a lot of power. These ones are a little greener. I think they're going to come with plenty. So, again, that's 28 there.
Really like this 28 hog, especially after seeing 27, the litter mate. I think that's if you're buying gilts and want consistency, once they're having litters, certainly buy from Deep Litters of Pigs. And that one, that look from the side and that sharp look they give you, shoulder blade forward, is impressive. And she still has topside shape. And then the 83 hog here, very muscular, very three-dimensional type of a hog, round-bodied, still square, very stout at the ground, stout all the way through, good pair of gilts.
Okay, so these next two coming in are 87 and 88. They're Dustin didn't keep the litter mates together very well here, so I tell you, it's 3 in a row now. We've got 88, this solid white one, as a litter mate to that black-headed one and that red-belted one we just talked about. So same deal, heavyweight, last dance. She's a really nice little gilt as well. Also, that whole litter, a little later in her maturity pattern than what we're used to on the heavyweights. But she is solid white, will class as a York. And we have a lot of faith that she's going to come with quite a bit of power. I'll tell you that last dance 2046 sow that they're out of is not the first sow you ever find. She's just kind of a skinnier little sow. She always has a really, really good litter, and there's always winners every time out of that sow. She's just one of those that generates really well. Again, she's a last dance sow, but that's what that solid white one is there. And then this blue one is 88. So 88 would be another litter mate. Yeah, these two are mates, so they're same litter there. Heavyweight, last dance. The blue one, honestly, looks more like the Savior. She's the big, more bloomy, kind of bigger legged, bigger skulled one. Got more of that than her white sister does for sure. She's a very nice gilt as well. Like I say, this litter's been really strong. We've seen every color under the rainbow come out of this litter. So these two will sell choice tomorrow. Kind of take your pick. The stouter one, bigger, more muscular one's definitely the blue. Little greener, later maturing, solid white York classifier there would be the 87.
Yeah, that solid white one's really sharp about her look from the side, and both the pair are comfortable, sound, flexible hogs. And this blue hog, I think, again, if you have the chance to show gilts in a market division, she could certainly do that and be very competitive. Again, light crosses that I think can be competitive anywhere. That 88 is stout for a blue hog. Her bones are big, her feet are big. A really good pair of litter mates. Again, these heavyweights. If you were here earlier and saw him, certainly impressed by him and what the potential is of those gilts out of him.
Yep. You have 82 over there, right, Palin? Yes, so these are 82 and 89. 82 is the black gilt. 89 is the white gilt there. Both Savior pigs, and they're different. Savior Game On would be the black one. 89 is Savior American Spirit. That's the blue gilt. We can talk about her first. That whole litter, I think, found its way into the sale. Like I say, they're kind of scattered throughout the barn. But this one kind of hit us pretty hard this morning when we were going through. She's a greener bodied gilt, but you study the design that she's got and really get on either end of her and realize how much she's got to her. That's going to be a pretty fun one. There may not be as many folks looking at light cross gilts as some of the other stuff in the sale, but if you're coming here to try to buy a July fair pig or even a June fair pig, take this one home, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. There's not much wrong with her. She's got all the things she needs as far as muscle, as far as bone work. Not the kind that's going to take a genius to get her looking right. Just a good solid pig there. Again, that's 89. And then 82 is the one Palin's got there, the belted gilt. That one's really fun. I know taking photos. Zach Lear came out and took the photos for this set. I know he kind of fell in love with that one because she's one of those that has all the extras. Skull and bone work and hair and feature is really, really impressive on that one. She looks like the kind when she steps in the ring just instantly gets pinned or sent to the scale or whatever. That's the kind that when your pig steps its head in the ring, that's what you want them to look like, at least, or what we kind of try to do. She's one I think definitely needs to grow slower. Just to probably show in July. Just muscle-wise, she's got plenty to her. But again, that'd be a Savior Game On that pedigree, lot 82. So 82 and 89.
Really nice pair here of Saviors, and very different ends of the spectrum. The blue hogs, the sharp-looking, skinnier, greener one, and then the belted hog. That's a three-dimensional, shapely stout kind of a gilt that probably needs to be fed a little slower just to maintain, her hind leg and make sure it's where it needs to be. But I think if done right, that one can win a big-time show because she offers those extras it takes now to try to ring the bell and get a big banner. And then the Blue Hog is that skinnier one that you can just push and shove on her whole life, and everything's going to stay in check. Really good pair. Obviously, different endpoints and different feeding strategies between the pair, but a good pair of gilts to talk about.
'62, '68, '69. Just come in. We threw 3 different colors at you. We've got white, blue, and black. And we can talk about the white one first, I guess, which would be '62. Would be a Family Man, Last Dance. So that's we've seen a couple mates. I know that 33 Barrow is a mate to her. I think 34 as well. Really nice litter of pigs. Mom would actually be the grandma of the different League 112 boards that we've got. Again, Sire's Family Man. This one's one that I've always liked. Might not be one of the higher sellers tomorrow, but this one's really, really good skeleton, and she's got a lot of muscle into her. I know a lot of folks want to buy belted pigs for their fairs or their shows. There is a light cross division at a lot of these bigger shows now, and I'd encourage you, if you're looking at Expo pigs or NJSS pigs or whatever, look at this gilt. This one's going to be pretty good. She's stout enough. There's a lot of muscle in her. This is the kind of pedigree, the kind of stuff that we try to keep and use in our program. Not much wrong with this pig. She certainly fits some of those folks that want to jackpot in the Northwest, maybe go to Jackson County or something like that. That one's going to be a buy, I think, tomorrow, and I think you could get a lot of mileage, bang for your buck, if you will, with that one. The other blue gilt, you got to help me, Clay. What's her tag again? 68. That's one of those saviors we've seen quite a few of. She'd be a 144 liter savior, though, which has a different mama. We've had a lot of those saviors. And I don't have that 144 mama in front of me, but it doesn't matter. She's a big-chested, big-bodied, real stout-featured kind of deal. Very similar to what we've seen throughout on the Saviors. I'd say this one's maybe the most moderate, but also one of the best colored ones. Feed that one into Jackson County or into July, no problems with that there. Then our girl that's kind of getting a little cranky on us is 62, right? We need to pay attention to 62. If you don't mind, Jax, help Palin get that one over there. She's pretty impressive. This is a fun little gilt. Her sister, 61, we'll show you in a second, too, and we'll sell them kind of choice. But this is as neat of a different league gilt as we have to offer this sale. She's a different league. American Spirit, I believe. We'll give them a second to get her over there. There she goes. Let's see if we can get a good kind of pass on her there for you on the online. Different league on a sow that we call calamari. It would be different league, BD40-1. Her and her sister are a little bit more immature in their center body, but their look up front is wild, and they are big-legged and hairy and just neat pigs. Gilt that looks like you could feed her all summer. If you're wanting a big ring gilt, you're wanting to go to a big state fair, you want to go to CYE, you want to go to county fair, it doesn't matter. This one is a fun pig. I encourage you to look at her. She's got a tall, long neck, but she's so good-chested, and she's got good width behind, and this is a fun pig. We like her quite a bit. That's 62.
We can start with the two light crosses, I guess, and the 68 hog, the predominantly blue hog. That's a round-bodied, round-ribbed, three-dimensional type of a blue gilt, and I love the pedigree. And At 69 as well, another one. If you need shape, I'd say use that Savior Hog like in this 68. And then 69, Russell told you the pedigree behind that Family Man, and then the south side, I think, if you're thinking about gilt buys, certainly that's one to look into. But really we need to study this 62. She's darn good. She's unique. People that are smarter than me would probably say the word weird. That's in these days, I guess. I don't like it, but that's probably what they'd say about her, because she's got that look, the way her neck ties out of the top side of her shoulder blade with a clean throat latch. Ooh, man. I like that hog. She's stout. Her tail root is so big. She's going to be stout her whole life, I promise. And then she's going to be very, very valuable in the sow pen or when you try to resell her and double and triple your money after you're done showing. Neat pig, neat trio.
64, 67 coming in. I've had a lot of folks asking me about gilts that they can buy that'll be show gilts but be really good females in the end. And I tell you that you probably want to look in at this pair here. The 67 is the one that Talen's got over there. Would be a different league, May we all 224.9. So we have 3 May we all 224 liter sows. They've been tremendous generators. We've built a lot of our program around them. They're out of the Rockstar 196.5 sow, which should be Family Man's mom, Game of Thrones mom, Game Plan's mom, Game On's mom. So same sow family there. Mom of this one would be a sister to the Grand Overall at CYAE in 22, the one that Paige Vieira showed. Really, really good female side here. If you want to buy a sow, different league on that, may we all. This is a tremendous opportunity. We honestly should keep this kind, and honestly, we did keep a sister or two. But this is the kind that you make females with, that makes winners, that makes the pigs that we sell the next year. And she wouldn't be a bad show gilt either. She's got a lot of extension for a different league. She's got tremendously good build. Her center cage is awesome. That's all coming from Mama, and she just looks like she's going to be a female. So if you're looking for that opportunity, take it, because that's not offered that often. The other pig is 64 that Jack has there. I really like this gilt. I've been telling folks this is a meat and potatoes kind of gilt. Don't miss this one. She's got plenty of flesh and bloom to her now, but you take that off of her, you can probably get a lot of mileage out of this one. She's one of them that doesn't really have an issue with her. She's stout enough. She's muscular enough. Study her build, her hock placement, her chest coming at you is really big and open. Just a good pig. She's a 40-6 is her sire, and then her dam would be May we all 82.8. So she's actually a mate to that 36 and 35 little pair of blue barrows that we like really well also. Just a good pig here. Again, I'd encourage you to check both of these out. Both make tremendous females. I think both make great show gilts, but 64 and 67.
Yeah, this is a pair that will be great competitive show gilts without a doubt. They do all the things and check all the boxes it takes, but if you're thinking about trying to buy gilts that you can make into sows out of sow families and programs from here in Colusa, this is a pair that's as good from the bottom side as anything. And honestly, their build, they look like sows. They're three-dimensional. They're round-bodied. They've got just enough muscle and shape, but still ladylike and feminine. They're square off both ends. I said it earlier. There is not a bow-hocked pig in this sale because Russell just won't put up with it. And those are the kind of sows that you want to buy. A good pair, I think, long-term could be very, very valuable for somebody.
65 and 66 just coming in. 65 is the ones Palin's got over there. 66 is the more kind of the wider belt, the one with a full belt there that Talen's got. And these are mates. These are out of that Rightfully So sow, the Cobra champion from 23 that we bought at OYE for $37,000. That's been a good building block for our program. And again, the sire here is Savior. So we showed you the mate barrow a bit earlier. This is the pair of gilts that we're going to offer, and I'll be up front with you. We kept 2 litter mates. We think very highly of these. We think these honestly fit a market setting very well. The one that Talon has got there is 66, and she's got a little tipped up vulva, and I would have kept her, but I'm not going to put up with the vulva there. Probably be a great market gilt. You could probably breed her if you wanted to, but both of them have a lot of muscle to them. They're big-chested and have good shape and squareness of build. This Savior deal, we've gotten some different stuff out of. He's certainly sired a lot of muscle, and knowing what he does now, this Rightfully So sow herself also has a lot of muscle. That Rightfully So boar did. There's going to be a lot of power in these. So if you want to feed these into July, I don't think there's any problem at all. These are the kind you can just kind of, give a pound every once in a while, every other day too, and probably feed just fine for quite a while. So nice little pair of gilts, certainly good genetics behind them. They are 65, 66.
Anytime I hear Russell say he's keeping littermate gilts, I would make stars and pluses beside these pigs, because that means he sees the value in them as females after they're done showing, or the chance to make the next generation better. So certainly this pair fits that bill. Without a doubt, the one right in front of me is certainly more market-oriented in terms of her muscle and shape and just extremities, but she still stays square, so I think she'll be competitive in that situation. And then 65, love the build, love the design, love the look from the side, still square off both ends as well. So study the genetics if you're thinking about gilts to buy to start your program or put a little new blood in your program. I like the Savior thing, I think. Man, if you need sows or you need to add muscle to your sows and you breed a Savior and he doesn't add it, that would be pretty impressive, because all the Saviors have muscle and shape. So certainly a good pair to study.
These next 2 are 61 and 63, and we've got more gilts coming in here. So we showed you 61's sister a little earlier. That was 62. She had a little stage fright. That pair will sell together tomorrow because they're litter mates. And I'd encourage you to study 61 as hard as 62. They're really neat. They're different league, BD 40-1. That sow we call Calamari she's just a very, very impressive sow. I think this is about her 3rd litter. Every litter she's had has been really impressive. No doubt they need to come just a little slower. They've got, the extras as far as length of neck and muscularity, and, hip and stifle is bigger. Bring them slow. I think they'd be really fun to show throughout the summer. 62 was really easy to find in that grouping that we had her, but I'd tell you put her with this sister here, and you kind of got to study them in it. They're both very similar. This one's probably just a rib longer body, a little bit bigger, but that pair is really impressive. I'm telling you, this different league has really not missed in places where it's been used and stuff, and really, really nice pair here. 61 and 62 are sister that we already showed you. The one that Palin's got over there is 63. She's another one out of that 40-6 boar at Kurt Morgan's that we've been pretty impressed with. Dam is a hands to yourself, 67.8, lock it up, visionary on the bottom side. This is another one of those. I was telling some folks it's just a safe bet. No problems with this pig. If you're wanting a market show gilt, if you're wanting a gilt that you can go to Expo with, if you're wanting a CYA type of deal, this one's always going to stay together, I think. She's so good built. She's stout enough. She's got a sharp jaw. This is just a nice pig. I like this 63 quite a bit. I think she fits a market setting, but she probably also could go get big and fleshy and be a really nice big green gilt too, for CYE or Indiana State Fair or something along those lines. So 63 there, the belt. They're both belts. 63 and then 61, the one Jax has.
Yeah, 63 I think is just one you buy and put on feed and kind of show her when she's ready, whether that's early or later. What have you. I think she's got a lot of possibilities, without a doubt. She's got shape and muscle and really, really nice. 61 that's a unique pig, and we talked about the littermate. But this one probably balances and ties it together a little more, and she's probably, I don't know, safer than the other one, but she's just as stout, got that sharp look above in front of her blade. I would study that pair, and they're selling choice tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But don't let the out there wild one deter you from the littermate sister. That's probably just a little more safe, but still has some out there pieces. Really good pair here. That's 61. I'd be paying attention.
Really exciting pair here. This is 16 and 17, and so I'd tell a lot of folks check out. The barrows are always bring more than the gilts. We probably sell more gilts than most firms this time of year. We win more pig shows with the gilts out this way because we can show them out here, and honestly, they're good buys in the sale. This is a really fun pair. These are different leagues. Their mom is an older sow, really powered up sow. She's a junior out of line, straight survivor. Really neat sow. I like this pair a good deal. You got to study them for a little while. I'm not entirely sure which one I like better. Again, their tag numbers are 16 and 17, different league junior. They've got a little more size and height to their shoulder than what some of these different leagues will have. They've got a fuzzy arm, a big arm on them. They've got a really good hip and hind leg. These different leagues, I haven't been scared of at all if they look like they're, just a little wide when they're littler. We kind of like that. Those ones seem to be the ones that'll feed out a little better. That's how that 16 looks. The 17 doesn't look that way. She looks just dead square in her hock. I tell you, both of them use their rear legs really, really well. 17's probably just a little fuzzier, probably has a little neater look. 16's probably a little rounder ribbed. But study this pair, Market Hog or Big Green Gilt or whatever. These ones, we'll put them with some of the best in the sale. I think they're pretty fun. So, again, 16 and 17, different league juniors, their pedigree.
It's fun to come out here and talk about showing gilts because, in Ohio, you can every county show and the Jackpot Series, they have a market gilt division. So gilts are as valuable in my part of the world as they probably are out here when you think about showing market hogs, and these two fit that bill. But they're also feminine about their look and design. To have that much muscle and shape and still have design and profile is tough to do, and these both do it. I think study the pedigree certainly from a gilt buying standpoint, and you'll be very happy with the bottom side of this two pair. I think Russell's comments certainly would make you very confident in buying either of these gilts.
$25 and $26 coming in, and they have a little sister we'll show you in a second too that will sell with them also. That's $24. These are heavyweight. Back on, quite frankly, 112.6, which is a young sow that we're just figuring out is a really good little sow. This litter's been really impressive. Even the ones that didn't make the sale, as we were going through the back barns, we kind of found some of them. And I'd tell you to really watch in on these. Those folks in Jackson County probably want to look at these. There's a lot of muscle in these pigs. They have really good kind of sharp look, and I think their maturity is dead on for July. And there's a lot of July fairs looking at pigs. These ones are going to be fun. 26, the one Jax has over there, has got a little bigger hind leg probably. 25 that Palin's got over here has probably got a little longer front end on her. Both of them are bigger-ended pigs. Both of them are really, really good-bodied, kind of more moderate frame. There's a lot of muscle in them. They both got, big pin set, big back. 26, I love her skull. 25, probably just pattern is awesome from the side. Study this pair. We're really high on them. We're really high on the little sister as well. Again, heavyweight, quite frankly, is the pedigree here.
They look like, quite frankly, on the bottom side, just their ruggedness in their bone and their feature in their skull. Those quite frankly, always have that unique skull of stoutness, but still doing it with look from the side and having muscle and shape, but still being able to handle it. That's what both these are. I think obviously there's a lot of opportunity to show them as market gilts, but I think you could show them as breeding gilts and be very tough to get around as well. Jackpot, county fair, state show, national event, I think these are going to be towards the top. A good look, good design, always, as you'd expect, sound and comfortable and athletic as well.
So here's Little Mate, which is 24 to lots 25 and 26, and then the really neat colored one Talen's got there is 46. So we have 24, 46. Black one's 24. Would be heavyweight. Quite frankly, again, she's not as big and wild-muscled as her sisters, 25 and 26. But she's really, really good built. She's got really big legs. She's got that same kind of sharp front end on her, and looks like she'd be just a really fun gilt to feed and show all summer. Love her maturity pattern as well. That's the 24 over there. Again, black gilt with the kind of the white socks. Neat pig. Again, Talen's there is 46. She's an 82 and 82 litter, and she would also be sired by heavyweight. That heavyweight deal will sire some hair and will sire some bone. You can see that in her pretty easy. This one took a really, really fun picture. She's one of those just grabs your attention right off the bat as far as just her color pattern and how much muscularity she's got. Her mom's kind of been one of my favorite little sows. She's a hands to yourself sow. Hands to Yourself was a boar we had here. We made a lot of females with. A lot of people don't realize that he was a litter mate to Endgame, but as much of that Endgame deal is prevalent throughout the industry. This Hands to Yourself. Hands to Yourself sired the dam sire of the Grand Barrow at OYE last year. So the genetics behind that's very, very impressive. I like this gilt a lot. She's one that you might not want to overlook. You can get a lot of mileage out of a gilt with this kind of color and this kind of stoutness. And those of you that like to show on the weekends and fluff their hair up, this one's fun. We're going to be really fun to do that with. So again, she is 46.
The calico, like Russell said, if you want to show every weekend and be towards the top, that's the one you need to lean in towards. And she's got the early shape and muscle, but still does it with look, design, presence, bone, feature, very comfortable. But the 24, as Blake would say, hey, let's pay attention because she's got that unique look with bone and her feet are big. She's square. That tail root's so big. It makes me want to get those litter mates back out and study them all together because I think that's a really good trio. And this one, I think, if you want to win the pig show, the big pig show, she needs to be studied. I think she could win any Midwest state fair in the country or be right there. Neat pig. Really good. I'm going to text Russell tomorrow and say, hey, where'd 24 end up? And I'm going to be interested to see where.
44, 47 coming in, or getting into a couple bigger girls. So we showed you a pair, 16 and 17 a little earlier, and this 44 belt would be a litter mate to those two. So that would be different league junior, out of line on the bottom side there. Really, really good mama behind her. This one looks the most like mama. She's a really big-bodied girl. Got just a nice look. She'd be another one that a lot of folks asking about who's going to make a good female at the end of the show career. That one there'd be great. Mama always has about 12 pigs and raises them good, and we've made a lot of money with Mama over the years because of how productive she's been. And then when she makes pigs that we can sell in the sales and do well like this one, then those are the kind that keep us, keep the lights on around here, I guess. So I like her a good deal. I'd tell you she's big and growing. Slow her down just a little. She's got a huge, big chest. Center body is great. That'd be a great show gilt to jackpot all summer. Wind up at a state show, a CYE type of deal in early August. She'd be really, really fun. The blue gilt 47 is another sunset. She's a sunset cease and desist. So her mom was reserve light cross at CYAE. Not this year, but not 24, but 23. That was shown by Ashby Lane. Really, really impressive little sow. Very productive litter as well. This one came out of a large litter, and she's got a lot to her, as you can see. There's tons of power in this one. But I'd tell you, get on either end of her. She's really square. Just slow this one down. She fits a lot of scenarios. Probably, honestly, definitely fits a market scenario, but honestly, I think it'd be a nice light cross gilt for our CYA show again this year as well. So 67 there, sunset, cease and desist is her pedigree, and then the belt again, different league junior.
Two really round-bodied, three-dimensional type of gilts. The blue, I think, any light cross gilt division in the country, that one's going to be competitive. Because she's bloomy, she's shapely, she's square, she's stout, she's got look, checks a lot of boxes. And then the belted hog here with the white tip tail, she is a stout-made, stout-muscled, stout-skulled type of a gilt that still has shape. She's acting like a knucklehead out here, but I do think earlier endpoint than some of the other gilts in the sale, but I think she can fit the bill for a lot of people.
.45 and .48 just coming in, and so we'll show you another sister here to that one we just talked about. That was 47. That was 44. So 44 was just in. 45, the belt here is her sister. So different league junior. Same deal there. Mates to 16 and 17. Really big-bodied stout. I will tell you, studying them back in the barn there, the 44 and 45 are about identical when you kick them out. I like both of them a good deal, and I'd tell you just go back and kind of find the one you like. They fit the bill as females, as show gilts, kind of bigger ring gilts, really, really well. They've just been growing. They need to slow down, realize what they are. This different league deal we have a lot of confidence in. This other gilt here is 45, right? The black one? Or she's 48. She's 48. Black gilt. She's a mate to a trio of really fun barrows we're going to show you. She is a 51-2 endgame, would be her pedigree. 51-2 is a boar we sold to Top Cut 2 years ago. That's been doing a really, really good job. He's a BD 40-1 son. This gilt has a beautiful skull and has big features and big legs and awesome build as far as her pasterns, as far as her squareness. She's one that's stout, but at the same time looks like she can be fed hard. Would be a good expo kind of gilt, a really good gilt to show in sometime in June. I know a lot of folks wanting to kind of hit the Northwest jackpot circuit. This one would be fun. Feed her into that deal and show her on the, in the gilt show. I'd encourage you to check her out. We like her a good deal. She's a black gilt with 4 white feet. 51-2 endgame would be her pedigree, and again, she is 48.
51-2 is the bread sale, right? Is that when we sold him? Yep, when I was out here, loved that boar then. I love the pigs out of him as well. Really, really like this gilt. And ask any hog breeder in the country, they'll tell you their favorite sows are their endgame sows. So certainly think about that. That one's stout everywhere. She's stout muscled. She's stout boned. She's big at the ground. She's got look as well. I think that'd be a really fun one to feed and breed on once she's done. And then the other gilt, obviously earlier endpoint than some of the others, certainly big muscled and stout, skulled, still opened up when she comes at you, leaves you the same way. She needs to be slowed down on feed, I think, hand feeding this pig, and then in 2 weeks you're going to be really, really happy with your pig purchase, because that one's going to give you a chance to be competitive. Good pair of gilts. I like their endpoints a bunch.
We're getting into the big boys here, and we still have a lot of folks looking for May, early June deals. I know Expo's first part of June. Really, really nice pair here with some differences to look at, and they are 53 and 54. So 54 is Palin's and 53 is Talin's. 53 is camera's on 54, so we'll talk about him first. He is a family man. Endgame would be what his pedigree is. So it'd be a lot of endgame in there. That litter is really impressive. I kept some gilts out of. We honestly kind of made that litter for keeper gilts, and they're just the kind of litter you sort them all, and there's really no flaws in them as far as just. You can't say, oh, let's throw this one out because he's bow-legged, or you can't throw this one out because he's down on his pasture. The whole litter, very, very consistent. This was the biggest, stoutest one. I'd tell you, if you're wanting to go to a fair in the end part of May or early June, this is probably your pick of the whole sale. Just buy him, put him on feed. Very, very easy pig to manage. Probably never going to have an issue with him, structurally. Get him a little tan and give him a little care. That way it goes. But really nice pig. He's got a little bump under his eye. We noticed that earlier. We actually lanced it when we clipped. Nothing to worry about there. Really nice pig there in 54. 53 is a different league over there. He's a mate to lot 2 that we'll show you. He's got really big legs and really fuzzy legs. He's one that is good enough built that you can just let him grow and I think get along well. But he's got a big enough, rear third to him to where you could sit on him and show him in June and probably be a kind of a monster. If you're going to a June fair. I know we have a lot of really tough ones out here in our part of the world. You want to go to Expo, this one might be a fun one to kind of mess with as well because he's got a lot of, big features, fuzzy arms, different league deal. Be a different league rowdy rebound is what his pedigree is. So, and again, his tag number is 53. So 53 there, different league. 54 is the family man.
53 is stout. His forearm is big. His feet are big. He's got those intangibles that you hear judges talk about with hair and all those things I think it takes to win a big-time barrow show. He can do those things. And, again, like Russell said, if you're hunting one end of May or June, he fits that bill for sure. And then the 54 hog is another one I think don't have to make any excuses for. Put him on feed and take him to the show and be competitive wherever you're going to be. He's stout. He's got muscle shape. Still gives you that look and profile from the side. If you're a novice feeder like myself, I think this would be one to certainly look in on because he's not going to he's not going to get messed up no matter what you do to him. A good pair, I think, earlier endpoints than some of the other ones in the sale. So pay attention if you're still hunting May-June hogs.
So if you came to see Lot 1, his time is now to see him. This is Lot 1 and 49. They are litter mates, and they're a really fun pair. I didn't write real long descriptions this time. There wasn't as much time. And the only thing I think I wrote for the description of these is that they're out of the same sow that raised the grand overall at Michigan State Livestock Show 2 years ago, which would have been 23. And that was a really fun barrow, and I'd tell you that Lot 1 looks a lot like him. They are sired by a different league, and then that Malmus pedigree would be Lit Fuse Short Bus. And these guys are on the older end of the set for age. They're obviously on the bigger end of some of the pigs that we've seen, but a really nice pair here. This Lot 1 was one of those, we always try to think on our sale, order, and sometimes we get it right and sometimes we get it wrong, and there's always these things change so much, but he was one that when I went to pick Lot 1, I was just, oh yep, that's Lot 1 right there. Pretty easy to see. His skull is awesome. I'd tell you that he's been growing like crazy, but I love him. I love him as much as we picked him out. The day we picked him out, his chest is great, his rear legs are great, his stoutness of feature is tremendous. And I think that his ceiling is really high, and I think that you could show him whenever you want to. You could probably take him to early June. You could take him to mid-June. You could probably show him in July if you want to, because his skeleton is good. There's enough width there to do that with. His skull is just great. If you want to buy him for a boar, he's got his nuts in him too. So a lot of things that could happen with this pig. I think he's really fun. I'd tell you, don't miss the Calico Brother. Again, his tag number is 49. No, he's not as stout. No, he's probably not as dense through his mug either there as his mate. But his skeleton's great. He's got a great hind leg. He's got great pasterns. He too is opened up good. He's got a good center cavity working in him. This is the kind that we win pig shows, county fair shows out here with all the time. Because brother sells for money and goes back east or goes somewhere, and then this guy slides in and gets a big one won with right management. So don't miss him either. That is tag 49.
That 48's impressive on the top side of his skeleton. 49 is impressive on the top side of his skeleton with shape and muscle, and leaves you with the same. Really good look. And this mate, Lot 1 here, that's the big ring kind. I think you could even tap the brakes and show him into July and maybe 1st August, no problem, because that's the type it takes as far as that big muscle, that big shape, those big limbs, and that unique look. When he comes right at you out of that holding pen, any judge in the country is going to head him to a pen and then want to look at him again, because that's a unique look. That's a really good animal. Excited to see what happens on him tomorrow.
So Dustin threw us 2 and 55 here, and 2 is the belt, and 55 is the solid white. 2 is fun. No, not that the solid white one isn't either, but we'll talk about 2 first. Different league, Rowdy Rebound. He's a mate to that really big-legged kind of shaggy barrow we showed you a little earlier that I think was 54. This guy's he's a good pig. Oftentimes our sales, the higher sellers are not always 1 or 2. And oftentimes there's a good buy right at the front of the sale. I'd tell you that he's number 2 for a reason. We like him a lot. Again, his pedigree is different league, Rowdy Rebound. As you can see, there's a lot of skeletal stoutness in that litter as far as bone and skull and hair, and that's a pretty darn nice pig. If you're going to show in June, I know we have a lot of shows in the middle of June that folks are calling about. I know we've got some buyers from Shasta Fair. Look at this pig, guys. This is a great pig that fits that scenario. He could be fed a little harder. He's got a great skeleton, and yet he's so stout. Certainly fits Expo. He's a really nice pig. I like this guy. Different league should give you even more confidence. Being the sire, different league should give you even more confidence in what he can get done. The other barrow, 55, is another York-sired pig. He's an all by myself, out of line. Would be a great peer influence barrow. I know for the Expo barrow buyers out there, would be a great York classifying barrow. I know we've got some Glenn County folks looking. Silver Dollar Fair moved from May to June, and they also added a breed division. This is a great York barrow for those of you folks. And great news on the white pigs is they will typically be a little cheaper tomorrow than what the belted pigs will be. Certainly one to consider there. Very, very good pig. Wide, big backed, just lots of power, just a good pig. That's 55.
Yeah, the Pure Influence hog gives you a great look from the side as well, I think. But if you've got the chance to show a Yorkshire classifying, he's going to fit that, and he's going to be pretty hard to get around in that division. This lot, too, if you like the ones with the big intangibles, big backs, big bones, big feet, big ring look, he does that, I think. June if you want to, but July no problem. MLE if you're listening in Michigan and want to try to win the Michigan Livestock Expo, one of my favorite events. I think I'd pay attention to lot 2 here. Really, really good animal.
These next three are 50, 51, and 52, and they're different league rowdy rebounds. And so we showed, I don't know how many people watched the board preview that we did earlier, but we've got the three young different league sons we're very excited about and used a ton and are using a ton within our program that we call Different League 112, 1, 4, and 8. These guys are full sibs and blood to them, so they're not out of the same mom, but they're out of a littermate mom to that mom of those boars. These ones, mom was actually the better show gilt. She was grand overall at the Cornhusker Showdown, which is kind of the culmination show they do in Nebraska. They get all the county winners together for a big show called the Cornhusker Showdown, and she won the grand overall at that. She was a rowdy rebound, last dance, Jack Daniels' wedding night. And again, the sire here's Different League. We really like this trio of barrows. It takes some time to study and try to figure them out, and I'm still not sure which one I like the most. I'd tell you, Palin's got 51. That's the belted one right in the middle. Talon on my left has 52. Excuse me. That's the one with a white tail, and then 50 is Jax's with a white rear leg there. Very, very nice trio. Palin's is probably the shortest backed, most moderate one. Jax's is probably on the opposite end there, a little taller, a little later maturing. They all have a great skull. They all have a good chest width. They all have a very, very good hind leg. Study them. We think they can get a long ways. We think they can probably get to July, early August, no problem. Check them out. We're pretty high on them.
They're all stout, they're all good muscled, they're all good built, and they're all square. So, if you don't get the first one on your list, I'd be pretty happy with the second or third one, too, because they're built right. And obviously, Russell had mentioned about cutting 2 weeks ago or whenever it was, and there's a little swelling, but there's one of these I think very highly on, and I wouldn't let any swelling deter you away from them. They're the right proportions, they're the right build, and they're the right look. Their skull and their look and design is going to get you towards the front of any class, any division, any show. A really good trio. Buy the ones you like, buy the ones that fit your endpoint.
Tag 6 and 30 coming in here. These are two sisters, littermate sisters. Make sure I'm not telling you a lie. I think I am. So tag 30 is, yeah, I am lying. They're not sisters. They're both different leagues. Tag 30 is Palin's. Tag 6 is Jax's. She's the big one. So tag 6 would be a littermate to lot 1. Different league. Lit Fuse out of that same sow that raised the Grand at Michigan 2 years ago. And we have quite a few of these kind of big, stout, different league gilts. Well, I shouldn't say quite a few. We have a handful of them that we're going to show you here that I think really need to be paid attention to. This 6 that Jax has got is a big, fast-growing, or has been fast-growing in the chip barn. You kind of got to look at her and think what she'll look like, when you get her home and get her slowed down just a little bit. But this is one we've been really high on. She maybe doesn't look as stout as what she is, because like I say, she's been growing. She's really, really big centered right now. But that one's got a big skull. She's got a big chest. Her hip and hind leg is really, really good. And she could show for a long time. She'd be a great show gilt for the summer. A great one to show in, a county fair kind of deal. There's going to be tons of muscle in her. Our shows out here, I keep saying county fair, but I don't want you to think if you're looking for expo or looking for a bigger show that this one doesn't fit that kind of quality, because she certainly does. Very, very nice gilt there. That's lot 6. And then Palin's there is lot 30. She's a littermate to lot 2. So it would be different league, ready rebound. She has a little sharper look than 6 does as far as just her profile. She comes with a little more hair and just a little more kind of, fluff on the backside of her arm there. She has tremendous reach off both ends. I'd tell you that one would also be one you could feed hard, be a great expo gilt, be a great kind of June show pig. Has a big old chest coming right at you. Really nice pair of different league gilts here. If you're looking for a different league gilt, these two are going to be some of the better buys tomorrow.
That lot 6, once you start hand feeding her, you're going to really like that gilt. She's obviously the first one to the feeder in the morning, and I think that's okay. Once you start managing her intake, you're going to be darn happy, because that's a round-bodied, busted open off both ends of her skeleton, really three-dimensional type of a female. And then lot 30, that sharp look and that bone and that presence, that's the kind it takes to get to the front of any class in any division. I think that one, no matter where you're at in the country, if you want a competitive type of a show gilt, I would look in. And like Russell said, if you're looking for a different league gilt, now's the time to get in on it and get on the front end, because I think the popularity is only going to grow on this different league thing. So here's a good opportunity to buy a pair of them.
We've got a great crew of kids helping us, by the way, and we thank them for their help. I know it's, they're fighting some of these pigs. These pigs have never seen this ring before, and they're doing a great job. So thank you, guys. These guys are rock stars. We have a good crew helping us in the back, too. These next ones coming in are 29 and 98. 29 is the one that Talon has got with a thin belt, and then 98 is our white gilt over there. So 29 is a mate to 30 that we just had in. Has a tremendous look, just like her sister, profile and look ahead of her, blade's awesome. That's a different league, ratty rebound. Really like her. I think this pair, 29 and 30, are going to be really, really fun show gilts. If you want to go to Expo or something like that, feed these gilts hard. They're going to have the hair and the fluff and the stoutness and just that neat look. But then on top of that, them running gears that's going to get you a pretty long ways. We like them quite a bit. So that's 29, and then Jax's 98 over there, where a solid white gilt would fit that pure influence deal. She'd also make a really, really good female at the end of the day for a sow. I'll tell you, we didn't notice till we were clipping pigs. This 98's got a left eye that I'm not sure works entirely. As you can see, she gets around just fine. She's, I certainly wouldn't be worried about it, but just kind of saying, FYI, if you buy this pig and you think she's blind in her left eye, then we told you. So I wouldn't worry about it, though. It's certainly nothing that bothers us, and that's why we're leaving her in the sale. We think her quality is tremendous. Like I say, a great show gilt, and then probably a sow at the end of the day. This 98 solid white.
Love this Pure Influence hog. Liked them, in the last sale. Think this one runs with them in terms of quality. Love the design and the look. That's one you can get big and fluffy and still have that look and profile, and you're going to be towards the top of that division. And I think when Russell bred these Pure Influence hog, he was thinking about gilts like this long after they're showing to keep and breed and build upon, and that one certainly can do that. I think this 29, I love the three-dimensional, capacity she gives you. Love the look. Love the topside shape. I think she fits a dual-purpose market gilt, a breeding gilt. She can do both and be competitive. Really good pair of gilts here. Obviously, different terms of spectrum.
32.97 coming in, and I'm going to try to kick her up just a gear. I know I appreciate the time you guys are all giving us. So 32.97 in. Jax has 32. That's the wide belted gilt there with a little longer tail than the 97 has. 97's got the shorter tail there that Talen's got. Talen's 97 is a Family Man endgame. Really, really nice gilt. That's the one over there. Yep, Danny, you got her. 97 Family Man endgame. She's a neat gilt. There's a lot of muscularity in this gilt. She'd be a great gilt to show sometime in June. She's a bigger pin kind of deal. She's got great extension from her shoulder blade forward. What's surprising about her is when you get in behind her, just how big and good her hind leg is. If you see on the screen there, she's got a little bit bigger navel. That's because she had a little bump on her navel, and we had our vet come out Thursday and fix that. So that's and it looks great. We've been keeping tabs on it. That's what you see there. She's already been fixed. Then 32 Jax's gilt is really neat. She's one of those tricked out 6/8s, and we'll show you a bunch of them here shortly. Tricked out 6/8 is a boar we got from Bob Liston. That's a tricked out son, obviously. Has 3 litters within the set, and they are all pretty killer. This 32, don't miss her. She's pretty bulletproof in terms of her skeleton. She comes with extras as far as bone and feature and look ahead of her blade, and tremendous running gears and athleticism. This one is one that you should probably look at. If it doesn't really matter where your show is. We like this one quite a bit. Expo, County Show, CYAE, female, just put together very, very well. She might not be the first one you spot, but as soon as you do spot her, you look at her and you realize this one's pretty special. So again, that's 32. Talen's over there is 97.
If you were watching the board preview, we talked about this, tricked out 6-8. I would get in on the front end of these gilts. This 32 on your sheet, it says barrow. It is a gilt, so 32 if you're here ringside, that is a gilt. It's written down as barrow. Don't get that mixed up because I would be sure happy to buy this 32 as a gilt. Yes, right. I like this 32 a bunch. I like this tricked out 6-8 thing, and I'm going to go home and tell everybody I know about that boar, and Russell's going to get him back and right, and Seaman's going to get rocking and rolling, and everybody in the country is going to use him. So get on the front end of that. And then 97, another one that's got look and a little skinnier, a little greener. Feed her hard. Stout, good muscled, but again, like Russell said, they got that navel fixed, so buy with confidence on her.
Okay, these next two are 32 and 97. Nope, that's 31 and 96, excuse me. So 31 is the one Jax has got, the kind of more painted gilt, and then 96 is Talen's. So so the one, we'll start with Jax, because Jax's is a mate to 32 that we just showed you. So that's the tricked out 6'8" pedigree there. Mama is a BR64 136.9. She's one of those sows. She's had about 5 litters. Every litter's been really, really good. She's had several of our kind of high-end sale pigs, probably I'd say the last couple years out of that sow. And again, this tricked out 6'8" thing looks really, really good. This gilt's not quite as stout as her sister, but you look at her by herself, and she's extremely stout. That pair we're really excited about. I'd tell you, sister maybe has a few bigger parts and pieces, but this one has no flaws, and she's pretty darn good in her own right. I would really, really study that pair. This one, don't let her, slip by you tomorrow either. She's really fun. The one Talen's got's really fun too. She's 96. She's a mate to 62 and 61. Pair of gilts that we're really high on. If you remember, 62 kind of was our first kind of bad actor. We got her out here. She just didn't want to be in the ring. This one looks just like her sisters. They have the same pattern and kind of design. Got a big old skull on her too. She might be a shade stouter than her sisters and might have a little more rib than her sisters. But really study that one. That 96, pretty excited about her potential too. And these two, 96 will be selling a little later on down in the sale. That's going to be one of the better options toward the end of the sale if you're looking for a belted gilt.
I like this 96 for what if you're thinking long-term of maturity pattern and build and design. I think she fits the bill for a big-time, big-ring show gilt type of a female. And then the other one, we talked about her mate and these tricked-out 6'8", and she, like Russell said, if you put her next to her mate, she's probably not quite as stout. Put her by herself, and you're like, ooh, this is a stout one, because she certainly is. That just tells you how extreme that other one is. This one's probably a little safer if you're worried about the other one and what you can do with feeding her, but this is probably the safer option. But another really good tricked out 6'8". I'd get on the front end of this thing.
If you're serious about buying a good show barrow tomorrow, you might want to look in here at this 18 and 77 that have just come in. We're pretty excited about this pair. We showed you a sister just a little bit ago. These are sired by 51-2 on an endgame 116.6 sow. Young sow, this would be her second litter. And this litter, honestly, has just been really, really strong throughout. There's another little mate barrow we'll show you here in a minute. There's been a little size variation. There's a bigger one that Talen's got there. That's 77. Kind of the more medium-sized one's Palin's there. That's 18. And then there's a smaller one yet. But, study them and figure out where they fit for maturity. We really like these pigs. This 18 that Palin's got, and they all have this beautiful skull, but his skull and his head and his chest and his stoutness of feature is right on for, at least in our opinion, what a show barrow should look like. I'll also mention 18 is still selling intact, so he'll be a boar pig. If you want us to cut him, if you buy him and you want us to cut him, we can do that for you. That's no problem. But he sells that away. I think the other two are cut. But yeah, 18 is Palin's really, really fun pig. Skeleton is awesome. 51-2, as we said before, that's the boar we sold top cut there 2 summers ago. That's doing a great job back on an in-game sow here. The running gears and the stoutness of skeleton in this guy in this 18 is really, really impressive. I'd tell you don't miss 17. I think he does need to show a little sooner, probably a June endpoint. If you have a May endpoint, he's definitely one of the better ones you need to look at for that as well. But he offers the same kind of ruggedness to his skeleton He too has a great design. Probably comes a little bit later maturing kind of package, a little bit more extension than what 18 does. But we have so much confidence in this litter. These are really, really nice pigs.
This 77 here, again, probably earlier endpoint than some of the other ones, but that's a darn good hog. And I think if you're still in the market for a May-June hog, that one, I don't know that we're, he's not as good as one that we've seen for that type of an endpoint. He's stout, he's got muscle, he's square, very, very flexible type of a hog. And this 18 now, that one does some things as far as feature and bone and three-dimensional shape and width and all those. That view going away. That's square, that's wide, that's good built. I think that one needs to be high on the list. I don't quite know where maybe he ends up. I think that's probably to the buyer's discretion because he could probably tap the brakes and be a later ending, middle July type of hog, but certainly could get to June too. So a good pair here, different endpoints, but high quality.
We have 78 and 79 just come in, so they're mates to several good pigs that are, I think, 25 and 26 and 24 litter mate gilts to these guys. But again, their tags are 78 and 79. They are heavyweight on that, quite frankly, Sal. Really impressive litter of pigs. These heavyweights have had, like I say, kind of more muscle, bigger ended, bigger skulled kind of pigs. They'll put a chest and a rib and a center body into them really, really well. These guys look that way. Jax has 79 over there. Taylor's got 78. We really like this pair. I'd tell you that this is a pair that could be a really good buys as well on down the line. There's enough natural width in these guys to get to July, get to some of our bigger fairs and shows in the middle part of July and have enough muscle. They'd certainly be plenty good enough size-wise feed in the middle part of June too. Check them out. They're very similar. I felt Jax's earlier probably had a little bigger hind leg. Talen's probably has a little more extension. That's the 78. Like the pair of them really well.
It's a really, really good pair that I don't, there's not much difference between them other than color pattern. So I guess if you don't want to buy a black-headed, target-butted one, then you stay away from that one, but meaning 78. But that one's impressive when he goes away from you in terms of bone and muscle and still just stay square and flexible. Really good pair. I think earlier potential endpoint could get to May. Certainly June will work real good in this pair.
$19 and $80 just came in. 19 is a litter mate to those two barrows we just showed you, 78 and 79. So it would be heavyweight, quite frankly. This 19 fits right in with them if he would have ran in with those other two, and probably should have, Dustin. He looks the same kind of pattern, big old hind leg. He may be the stoutest one. He may be the most moderate one of them. I'd say he probably fits Jackson County, mid-July. We have a lot of mid-July shows that people are looking for pigs. Look at this 19. There's a hornet's nest of really good barrows toward the beginning of the sale. Certainly don't overlook this guy. His width is tremendous. His bone, and just when you get in behind him, his hind leg is really big and it's really good. And that you can get a lot done when you've got a barrow with a big, good hind leg. And then the other barrow here that we've got that Palin's got, you said is 80, right? That's 80. He is a 40-6 pig. That's another impressive litter. He's a mate. I'm trying to think there's litter mate gilt's tag number. But he's one that you shouldn't miss as well. That has a really good design. These 40-6 is another sire that's put a lot of muscle into him. You get in behind this guy, he's kind of a bigger pin kind of barrow. He's got good muscle and shape. Might not be the first one that you kind of find, but another one of those you just start studying him. There's not a lot of problems in him. So again, that's that 80.
Yeah, 80 is one to be paying attention to. If you didn't get the pig you bought early, pay attention to that hog. He's got look and bone and design. In the way that one's neck ties into his shoulder blade and how smooth he is about his lines, that's tough to do. And I think he does that, certainly acting like a knucklehead out here, but at high quality. And again, 19, like Russell said earlier in the set, that one on the top side of his body is shapely. That's a shapely hog. He's busted open on both ends of his skeleton, and he proportions and balances right. I think that one could be fun to feed. That's one you could tap the brakes on and probably feed for a long time as well. Jackpot, and then cruise on into whatever your end point is and be competitive.
'76 and '81 just came in, and '76 is the wide belt there that Jax has got, and then '81's the blue barrel. And we've seen quite a few mates out of this '81. This Savior litter would be a Savior American Spirit. That litter's been really impressive. This is probably the greenest bodied of them all. This blue barrel, again, his tag is 81. And that's probably a good thing, as much power and as much stoutness as they've had. I'd tell you, if you're wanting to go to a June, July show, look at this guy. His muscularity is great. You're going to be able to kind of do what you want with him. Center body's not going to be an issue with these Saviors. They've got so much rib and stuff into them. It looks like it could be at this stage with this guy, but all he needs is a little time. We can put some body into him, no problem. The thing that'll enable you to do that is how much just stoutness and width he's got. Width is great. He's a big pin kind of pig. Don't miss this barrow. I know he's blue. I know a lot of folks probably looking for belted pigs, but a pig like this 81, he can get a lot done. And then 76, Jax has got over there is a mate to 18 and 77. So that's the 51-2 end game litter that he's out of. And as we promised, so there's the big brother, the middle brother, and then this is little guy here. He's definitely the one that probably needs to show the latest. I certainly think he fits those Midwest guys looking for state fair barrows, those guys looking for CYA, 1st of August kind of time frame. Don't let that scare you away. If you have a July fair, he fits that for sure too. I just know there's folks out there with those August shows already looking, and if they're asking which ones do we need to look at. Well, this one here is definitely one of those. Frame-wise, a little more on the moderate side. Body's great, bone and hair, skull, extremely impressive, and the most important thing is hind leg and his build, pasterns. That's all really, really good.
Yeah, he's very, very just good built and does so, but the way he is built with his skeleton, you're going to feed him a little slower. You're going to get him to early August, late July, and be very, very excited about what you've got. And then this blue hog, a little greener, a little skinnier, opposite end of the spectrum for the ones we're previewing. one that you can push and shove on and be very excited about, a light cross type of a barrow that's got all the intangibles, like Russell said. Pedigree reads. Don't worry a single thing about that center body, because that's going to come. Good pair of barrows, different endpoints, different ends of the spectrum, but certainly high quality.
We've been working our ring help pretty good here. We're going to see how they do with these landrace barrows that we've got coming in. They've done a great job. We're really thankful to have them. These next two coming in are 74 and 75, and they're purebred landrace barrows. For those of you watching online wanting to go to Expo or maybe the Springfield show or some of them shows in the Midwest in the summertime, we're really proud of these landrace barrows. 74 is the one Palin's got. 75 is the one that Jax has got over there. They are straight white male. Timing's right. Overtime is what their pedigree is. Their mom raised that really impressive litter of Wildcats that included our new herd boar, we call Wildcat 124-3, and also the reserve landrace barrow at Arizona Nationals, the reserve landrace barrow at Western Regional, which were different pigs. Really, really good pair here. Again, sire straight white male. They'd actually be pretty line bred around just our best, landrace female, that overtime 91.8 that we kind of built around. Clay kind of said at first, he walked in the barn, we were looking at this pen, and he says, man, those are big-chested land races, and it's true. Just coming at you, these guys are very impressive. I'd tell you that they're plenty stout enough, and the rest of them is exceptional. Just their build, their reach behind, muscularity is very good. You know, our state is finally starting to get smart enough to put breed shows in most of these county fairs. I know several of them here, first part of June, like Silver Dollar, like Glenn County Fair, have got breed shows. We want to see you buy land races and win with them, and these guys that do that, we'd love to see these guys go win on a bigger stage yet, because they can certainly do that too. Either one will win. I'm very confident in this pair. 74 is, I think, Jax's. No, 75 is Jax's. He's a little shorter bodied one. 74 Palin's probably a little more later maturing, but really nice pair here.
Yeah, really good pair. I was talking to a couple of guys earlier today, and I said, if you're still hunting Expo landrace barrows, I found them. And they're here in California, and they're ready to rock. And I think they can be very competitive. In my part of the world, we've got jackpot shows that got landrace barrow shows every weekend. I'd like to see the ones that could get around this pair. And it's just a really good pair that they've got all the extras, but you don't have to make excuses for them. You don't have to worry about things that some others are going to have to, as far as management in a feed bucket. Really good pair. If you've got the opportunity to show purebred landrace barrows and you don't have one bought yet, or maybe you've got one bought and need a better one, here they are.
.72 coming in, and we've got 70 there in the ring. That's the blue barrow. Would be a 40-6, hands to yourself, is his pedigree. And then we've got 72 over there. Would be a Savior pig, I believe. Nope, he's a different league. That's right. He's a 178, so it'd be a different league. Endgame would be what his pedigree is. So again, the black barrow there is 70. Is that right? Black is 72. Different league endgame. Blue is 70. 40-6, hands to yourself. Really nice pair. They're a little later in the sale. I'd tell you, look at this black barrel and don't miss him. He's got some mates that have a lot more to him than what he does at this stage as far as just muscle and just power on the top side. Study his skeleton. He's got a good chest working in him. He's got big legs. He's got the different league features as far as bone and hair and skull. This one's going to be a very good, fun one to just feed into June and be very, very competitive. The blue barrel is also very good. He's one that I kind of had on my short list early when we went through pigs. He's easy to find. He has a good pattern. His hip and hind legs very good, and he's going to have quite a bit to the seat of his pants when he's getting, when he's done. He's bigger. He's fed out. Very good barrow in his own right as well. This light cross division is going to be at a lot of these fairs and like our CYE show. Don't miss a pig like this. It's a lot easier, and I'm not trying to say the pigs, pig can withstand some competition, but it's easier to succeed sometimes in them light cross divisions. 70 here gets you pretty far. We like this pig quite a bit. Don't miss him.
Yeah, 70 for that light cross thing. He's going to be tough to get around, and he's the right size. I don't know how jackpots and other shows in this part of the world work, but we have a light cross division in my part of the world and most jackpots, and he's going to be tough to beat. He's just built right, just flexible, sound, comfortable, and still have the extras that you need to be competitive. And then 72, if you don't get the pig you think you need bought early, 72 is one that needs to be on your list to get bought and give yourself a chance in the end, because he does check all the boxes as far as look, bone, design, feature, round-bodied, still got muscle and shape, but does so in a sound, comfortable package. So nice pair here. Again, different spectrums, but certainly need to be looked at.
'71 and '73 just coming in here, and I think Talon has got 71 over there on the far side. 73's Jax's here. That's the kind of more traditional, little bit thinner belt there in Jax's pig. Jax's we can talk about first is a GMO. Hands to yourself. GMO is a boar at Cobb's. Aaron Cobb texted me, kind of gave me a heads up on this boar. We traded a little semen and used his GMO boar. I know they're as high on him as anything they've had in several years. This is the litter we got out of him. We've got some mate sisters to show you as well. I'd tell you it's a pretty good pig. He's really opened up for a bigger hog, at least through his chest floor. He's got big features. This GMO, I know they named him that for a reason. He's probably one of those that, really, really fun animal to look at as far as bone and stoutness, and you can see that in this pig. This pig's going to be plenty stout. He's got good extension and love his maturity pattern as well. That's the 73. Then the 71 over there that Talon's got would be a mate to 70, I think, that we just saw. That kind of predominantly black barrel would be a different league end game. Would actually make him a double bred end game. Pig's really neat too. He's another, different league. Really stamps that look through their skull and through their front arm. He certainly brings that to the table, along with a good amount of muscle, good chest, good square hawk, good pig in that one too.
Yeah, this is. I've seen a few of the GMO hogs and excited to see more because they've got those extra intangible pieces as far as look, as far as bone, as far as foot size. Really, really good hog that I think gets to a heavy weight and does so in a very, very competitive type of a package. And then the other hog in here, very round-bodied, very flexible and sound and comfortable. Another one that's not going to need a lot of excuses as far as worrying about what you got to do with a feed bucket, because he checks a lot of boxes in this tag 71 and does so in a very square, very stout, very a good kind of a hog here.
112, 113 just coming in here. So these are a pair of land races right toward the end of the sale, and they are sired by Wildcat on a landrace sow that we call Margarita. Margarita was the reserve champion landrace gilt at Western Regional last year, 2024. It was shown by Dustin's little sister, Courtney Andrus. I think it was Courtney who showed that one. And she's a beautiful little sow. This is her first litter. We bet her to Wildcat for the first time here. And these gilts are very competitive, I think, no matter where they wind up. We were studying them in the back barn, and honestly, there's not a lot of difference. I think, you ask 5 guys or 6 guys, you probably get 3 tell you they like one and 3 tell you they like the other. But that's what they are. They're November gilts. They fit the expo perfectly. They fit, you want to go to any of those purebred shows at Team Purebred or any of those. I know that they have a lot of breed divisions in the Northwest Jackpot Series, and they'd certainly be really, really competitive in that division as well on the breeding shows at those events. So Palin has 113. Jax has 112. 113 is probably a little shorter bodied. Jax's 112 there is probably just got just a shot more extension, but it's close. I would say bone and hair and feature is very close on them. They've got good underlines. They've got great pastern, squareness of hock.
Yeah, if you've got the chance to show purebred landrace gilts, these are 2 that can be competitive. And I think it's certainly throughout their whole lives. If you're listening in the Midwest part of the world, this is a pair that you can win every weekend with on the jackpot circuit, and then everybody's going to know about her, and she's going to head into a big show and get along really well. I like the pedigree, love the gilts. Buy the one you like. I think they're just slightly different. 113 probably a little bigger, more extended. 112 certainly the stouty of the pair, but excited to see where these end up, excited to see how they're bred after they're done showing.
So here's the GMO girls. So we just showed you their brother here a minute ago. These are GMO, hands to yourself, 108, 109. Again, that GMO is a cob boar. And his sire, I'm trying to remember the name of his sire, but his sire is a litter mate to a boar that was really popular called To the Extreme. It might have been Full Throttle or something like that. They used that boar, and I had to look up what he was, and just kind of, when Cobb tells you they got a good boar, you just one of those things. Yep, okay, yeah, we'll use him, and we've been pleased with this litter. Bone and stoutness, like we talked on the barrow, is really impressive on these gilts. I'd tell you the mom is a really productive female. I know we get a lot of guys that want to buy a gilt they can show throughout the summer and then make a female out of. We bred her to this hands to yourself 183.9 for a reason, because we want to keep daughters out of that 183.9 and her sister 183.10. So that should make you feel even better. At the end of the day, you've got something out of a really productive sow that we've wanted to build around. Study the pair here. Their build, their squareness, their look is very good. They probably come with a little more frame and extension than most. I'd tell you when they get big and full and fleshy, they're not going to look frail. There's plenty of bone and plenty of feature in these gilts. The 108 is the calico. The 109 is the belt. So GMO, hands to yourself.
If you know anything about the Cobb program, you know that they think long past the show career of breeding hogs, and this is a pair I think can be competitive in a show ring with bone and look and design. But if you're thinking about buying gilts that have long-term impact on your sow herd, certainly these are the pair to look in on, and offer a little different pedigree than maybe what's mainstream and popular in the show pig world right now, but certainly do so in a competitive package. So buy the one you like, whether it's on based on color or design. I think you'll be happy with this pair of gilts.
We have lot 9 and lot 110 in the ring here. And lot 110, Dustin should have probably went with her sisters, 108 and 109 we just looked at. She's a GMO, hands to yourself. I like to give Dustin a hard time because he's standing back over there. But she's same kind of scenario as far as both stoutness and lateness and maturity in her. That's the 110. She's going to be at one of those that's a really good one to watch that's a little lower in the sale. That one probably has the most as far as muscle and width out of that trio of gilts, I would say. Then the 9 over here, black-headed gilt, is a very, very impressive female, is a different league in-game. Really was high on that litter of pigs. That in-game sow is probably our biggest ended sow. That's why we made that mating, like we've kind of said throughout the day. Different league works really well on stuff that have a little bit bigger pin set and just a little more width behind. This litter's really good. I'd tell you, don't miss this one because of her color. The front end of the sale, there's often buys because people are focused on one pig or another. I'm afraid this one might be one of those that slides through the cracks, and I just want to tell you, I think this one's pretty impressive. If you want her for a female, she's exceptional. Mama's great as far as productivity. I'd say for a show gilt, this one's one of the better ones we're offering today. Just build, stoutness, everything fits together really well. She's pretty neat.
Yeah, she's got enough early shape and muscle to show every weekend wherever you want to take her and be competitive, because that view when she goes away is darn impressive as far as muscle and shape, but to still be square and true to the ground with bone, it's tough to do. She does it. And then the GMO female, she is the roundest bodied of the three that we've talked about so far, and she does so probably as the most early muscle and ready of the trio. So certainly think about that one as far as jackpots and early shows. Again, good pair of gilts here towards the end of the preview.
So the white down ears again come in, and we have 111 and 114. So these girls will be toward the end of the sale. We only have 114 lots. So Palin's land race there, lot 114, is the last one that'll sell. Jax has got a Chester, lot 111. We could talk about her first. That's a tidal wave. Back on a... I should know off the top of my head that older Boomtown sow, Boomwang sow. No, excuse me, Jack in the Box sow. So she'd be a tidal wave Jack in the Box, and again that's tag 111. Chester gilt, has a lot of muscle to her. Like we've told you on a few of these, you got to consider the size we're selling these pigs. They've been in the chip barn for a while. It's hot in there. They're growing. This 111 is going to be one of those that when you get home probably looks better than what she looks now. She just needs to melt just a little bit. She's been in there eating and growing. Lots of muscle and natural width in this pig. Our Chester program we've had for a long time. We've watched these things develop and just kind of know how they will. This one we're pleased with. She's probably, like I say, that's one probably is better than what she looks today. The 114 that Palin's got over there is a litter mate to that impressive pair of landrace barrows we showed you. So that's the swim litter. We call them swim, but straight white male litter. Back on timing's right on the mom of that reserve landrace barrow at Arizona and NJSA. Really nice little gilt here. I'd tell you from a female standpoint, this would be a great one that would make a landrace sow after a good show career. She can certainly handle plenty of competition as well as landrace.
Yeah, the landrace gilt, if you studied the males and want to get excited and think about buying power from a landrace perspective, she's here. You're buying out of a good litter of deep and high-quality hogs. And the Chester, that gilt can be competitive early and often and all throughout her life. She's the right length of body. She's long-fronted but shorter spine. She's long-hip. She's stout. Really good pair of purebred hogs here. If you've got the opportunity to show pedigreed gilts, certainly these two would fit the bill for competitive nature.
'51 and '52 just coming in here. Really, is that correct? Yeah, that's 11 for sure.
11 and 93.
Yep. We might have skipped a couple here. We have 11 and 93, and that's fine. We have 11.93 in here. So 11 is the belted barrow, and 93 is the kind of calico barrow over there that Talen's got. Talk about 11 first. We'll show you his brother here in a minute. He sells with his brother lot 10. They are different league, coast to coast. And that's a really fun litter. That's a really fun pair of barrows to study. This guy's as short-backed and as stout as maybe anything we've got in the sale. And, if you're asking about, hey, which barrows need to be on the short list for Midwest State Fair or for CYAE, 11 needs to be on it. He's definitely the kind that can get there and have a little age and probably only going to get better the older he gets. He is very, very stout. He is very, very hairy. The hair and ruggedness of the different league has been great, and I'd tell you that Mama here is probably even hairier than what different league is. This is a fun pig. This is the kind that gets you pretty far. Really like him, and we also like his brother. We'll show you here in a minute. The other pig also comes from a great litter, that 93. He is a tricked out 6'8". He's out of the endgame sow, I believe. So he'd be a mate to like lot 12. So Mama would be, American Spirit sow. That's what he is. So he'd be a tricked out 6'8". American Spirit endgame is what his pedigree reads. He's one of our pigs we had fixed. He was a one nutter. Vet fixed him the other day. If you see a little swelling there, that's from being fixed. This is a really good pig. He's the latest maturing one in the litter. His mates are belted. Don't miss this pig. He's a little lower on down the line. He's certainly another one. Goes to a Midwest State Fair or goes to CYAE. He's got big legs, bigger than probably what it maybe even looks on the screen. Got a big skull. That's a pretty good little pig, guys.
Yeah, we talked about that one this morning. Russell and his litter mates we're gonna really like and have like. That one's look and profile are what it takes to win a big-time show. 93 is a good hog. And, again, like Russell said, a little later as far as sale orders, so pay attention and don't get caught sleeping. This lot 11 made me excited this morning, and he looks just as good now as he did when we were looking early with the group of us. That one does things that are hard to do at any stage, but I think this one can win a big-time barrow show, and if you're listening or paying attention, he needs to be on the shortest of short lists because he gives you a chance. I like this hog a bunch.
10 and 94 just came into the ring here. These two are mates. They're mates to 11 that we just showed you. So obviously 11 was the kind of the little brother. So they would be in-game, or not in-game, different league, coast to coast is what their pedigree is. Very impressive litter of them. This Red Barrow is selling a little later on down the line, and he's another one that's going to be probably a pretty good buy. Don't miss him. It's easier to find 10 and 11 early on in the sale, but N11 got cut, the Red Barrow got cut and is still a little bit, sore there, and he's wagging his tail. Don't miss that pig. Skeleton's great. His comfort is great. There's plenty of stoutness in this different league stuff. That Red Barrow is going to be a very good buy for somebody on down the line. This 10, I'm not sure where his end point needs to land. We've studied him and kind of admired him here the last couple days. He's a really good pig. I think that's up to the buyers to kind of figure out where they need to put him. I think he certainly could show in June. I think he could probably show later as well. Maturity is spot on for as stout as he is. His head is big and dense. His legs are big and dense. His chest is great. His running gears are great behind. Just a really, really nice pig. Where does he land? I'm not sure. Maybe he needs to be a boar. We just like him quite a bit.
10 is going to be a buyer's decision, right? Whether you're buying him to keep him as a boar, I wouldn't disagree. Whether you're buying him to try to win the Expo, I wouldn't disagree. Whether you're trying to buy him to win a state fair, I think you could tap the brakes and try to do that as well and be darn close. The red pig here, 94, is the litter mate that if you painted him black, you'd be excited to show him because he does a lot of good things too. He's a little bigger outline than the litter mates. He probably has an earlier end point than the litter mates, but don't get caught sleeping if you didn't get the two litter mates that you like. I think this is another good option here with the red belt.
So 12 and 13 coming in now here, and these are out of the tricked out 6'8", so they're mates to the 93 that we just showed you a little bit ago. Really, really fun litter picks here. Mama is American Spirit in-game. Again, sire tricked out 6'8", and that's the boar. Honestly, when we were sorting pigs and we kept finding these pigs out of tricked out 6'8", it just kind of made me sad that his semen quality isn't great right now because we really would like to use him a lot more than we do. These pigs, I don't know how they look on the screen. They've never been in this ring before. We'll try to get them, as good of a look for you as we can, but their rear legs are absolutely huge. This 12 here is right in front that Palin has. Talen's got 13 there. Gosh, you get in behind them, and their hind leg is as big as any baby pig we've probably sold. There's a lot of muscle in these pigs. Their skull is really big, too. Rib and body and chest is great also. Got a lot of confidence, I guess, in these is what we're trying to tell you. The 13 there they're going to sell choice, obviously. 13's probably the one that might be a little more under the radar. 12's a little easier to find. He's so stout. His skull and his chest coming at you is just so impressive. I'd tell you don't miss that 13. There are pigs that could probably feed all summer. There are pigs that could probably be done early summer if you want as well. They're built very, very good. Just neat animals, like I say. Tricked out 6'8" is the sire. 12 over there on the left. 13 that Talen's got there.
I like this pair of bears a whole bunch, and Dustin and Russell and I were looking at them this morning, and we went back and forth about which one's better, which one's this, which one's that. Bottom line is they're close, and they're both darn good. They're square, they're stout, they've got muscle, they've got look, they've got three-dimensional body about them, capacity. There's just so many things about both these hogs I think are so impressive. buy the one that you like. But if you don't like either one of them, I'm just going to guess we're probably going to disagree on what good hogs look like, because I think both these hogs give you a real chance. Again, like Russell said, I don't know exactly where their end point is. I think that's up to the buyer, because I think they could probably be done a little early. I think you could tap the brakes and finish them a little later. I like this quality pair of hogs. I can't wait to text Russell tomorrow and see who got them, because I think they've got a real chance to win a big-time pig show.
$90.95 coming in, and I'll be honest with you, I think I missed 90 until earlier today. I was going back through and I was like, gosh, man, I missed this pig. He's in here with the rest of these tricked out 6/8s. He is as well. He's out of a little different litter. His mom is, I will tell you exactly which one she is. She is in game 116.6, so she's a second parity sow. Really nice little sow. Don't miss this guy. As good as these pigs have been, he's a little taller. He looks a little later in his maturity pattern, but when you get on either end of him, you realize he's really not messed up. His angles are great. There's a lot of muscle in this pig, and even for a taller pig, I think he can probably be fed a little bit later. For a show like Jackson County or something like that, middle part of July. There's a lot of muscle in this pig. His chest is good. Very, very nice hog. He's stouter than probably what he looks. Sometimes you kind of see a bigger frame, good-looking pig. You think, they're not that stout or they're not that wide. That's not the case with that pig, and it took me till today to kind of figure that out. This other barrow out here, 95, would be a family man in-game. So he'd be a double bred in game. He's one we had to mix pigs. When we get done sorting, we start the pigs in 2 barns, and then we have to put them in 1 barn here for the sale, and so they always wind up getting mixed. Well, when we mixed them, this guy here, he decided he didn't like one of his pen mates, and he's just a little sore getting around, and has been. I'd encourage you to check him out too. Don't miss him. There's a lot of muscle in this guy. He's kind of got a big hip and stifle working in him. Again, he's lot 95. Belted barrow with a lot of power usually gets you pretty far.
Yeah, we talked about that 95 this morning because I think highly of him, and it's really a pair of barrows that doesn't need a lot of excuses or rhyme or reason to why you wouldn't want to buy them. They're good. They're good built. They're square. They've got look. They've got design, and they're really good at the ground as far as squareness, as far as feature. It's another thing we haven't talked about yet, Russell, but all these pigs are really good-footed. You don't worry about pasture strength. You don't worry about any thing getting too down on their front feet, which I don't care where you're at in the country. Down-footed hogs don't win very many pig shows anymore, especially when they're ouchy, and this is a pair that's very good on their front feet. So another pair, I think, pay attention, do your homework. If you don't get the one you bought early, this is a pair I think you could get bought and be very, very competitive at any pig show.
$91.92 coming in, and that's not what our paper says, I know, Clay, but I just looked at the tags, I'm pretty sure. They are litter mates to 90 that just came through. 90 was that belted barrow, so they're tricked out, 6'8", in-game 116.6. Yes, they're solid black, and I kind of missed them a little earlier too. They have kind of a bigger, hip and stifle working in them. They've got a little taller look and design to them. Their muscularity and top side is is very, very big. Slow them down. Take them to late June. Take them to July. This is the kind that can win a lot of county fairs, a lot of pig shows in general, no matter where you're winding up with them. There's plenty of power to these guys coming at you. There's, I don't know if the camera just showed that view that I got, but they're opened up great. These are the kind you just take them home, go real, real slow, and you're going to be smiling here in a couple months.
They are very impressive at their chest floor. They're busted open there. They've got muscle if you can study the top side of their skeletons. They're very flexible, very comfortable out here, kind of peas in a pod. So, buy with confidence here. They're big-footed at the ground. They're square. They're comfortable. They check a lot of boxes. They're going to be competitive at the end.
Seven and 42 coming in here. 7 is Talen's thin belt over there on the far side. 42 is Palin's belted gilt here in the middle. Very nice pair. They're both different leagues. They have different mamas, but they look very similar. So Talen's thin belted gilt there is out of the Endgame 145-10 South. So be double bred Endgame. She's a different league. In game, she's a mate to lots 8 and 9. We'll show you 8 in a minute, and we've already seen 9. But that whole litter's been really impressive. We talked earlier about the mamas being so productive. This is another one of them gilts. It's been in the barn growing. Slow her down. Promise you this gilt is probably even better than what she looks today. Big Ring, Expo, CYE, wherever kind of gilt you want to show her at. As a show gilt, she'll be very, very good, and then probably even a better female on down the road. And again, that's tag 7. Been really high on her. 42 is a different league, coast to coast. That litter's been good too. She'd be a mate to lots 10 and 11 barrows that are a little on the smaller end. She's big sister, obviously, but this is one that you can't poke a hole in. She's stout, big-bodied. She'll make a tremendous female someday. Another one, I think, a great show gilt also. When they're stout enough and they've got enough muscle and power and you can't really poke a hole in them, they're usually a pretty good buy for you as far as, you take them home. It's I call them safe bet. This one's going to stay together and give you a chance in the end. If they fall apart, you won't have a chance. If they stay together, do things right. This one really sure looks like the kind that'll do that for you. So, again, she's 42.
I would say both are very safe bets and ones that when you get home and manage the intake, you're going to be darn happy with. This 7, she is so bold and busted open about her chest floor, and she's the same way when she leaves you. She's three-dimensional. She's round-bodied. She loved the pedigree. I think that one, again, once you manage how you feed her, you're going to be darn happy with that purchase. And then the other one here, again, you're not going to have a lot of excuses for. And usually when a judge has an excuse when they're judging a pig show, you're going to laugh at them and complain about them in the back of the barn. So I'd rather take them one that they don't have to make excuses for, because that's the kind that I like, and she certainly fits that bill. Good pair of gilts. Love the pedigrees on both of them. I think it's a good opportunity to tap into some of that different league stuff. Again, I say get in on it early, because I'm sure everybody has been calling and booking semen on different league and going to continue to do so.
.41, 43 coming in. So we just showed you 42, and she'd be a mate to this 41. The black head with the kind of the target on her butt there that Palin's got. And then 43 is Jax's, be a family man in game is what her pedigree is, that belted gilt. So 41, again, just like sister we just showed you, I think 41 probably actually has a little more muscle and shape than sister. Maybe not quite as just big-bodied and broody and productive through the center part of her body. But this one may have a bit more of a market-oriented kind of look to her if you're wanting to go to a county show, June, early July, something like that. And then 43 over there that Jax has got certainly fits that bill really well. And like I said earlier, we win a lot of shows out here with a bigger framed belted pig that has shape and can be fed into something. Those get a lot done for us out here. That one certainly fits that mold. I'd tell you again, pasterns, squareness of build, squareness of her hock when you get behind her, all very good there. So 43 on Jax, 41 there on Palin's blackhead there.
Well, I'd pay attention and listen to what Russell said about what can get done out here in terms of the belted hog. This target butted hog, she does a lot of things really well. She's really ripped up on the top side of her back. That shape on the back side of her shoulder blade is very impressive, and she does so with a good look on the front side of her skeleton as well. She leaves you square. I think she's got a real chance to be a good big ring kind. In the other one, just another one with no excuses, comfortable, flexible, very attractive, another one to be fun to feed.
Five and 14 just came in here, and we're almost down. We've got these two, and then two more, and we're done with the preview. But two of the very better gilts in the sale just came in the ring, and if you're in the gilt market, I would say probably want to pay attention to these two. Lot 5 is the calico over there. 14 is the thin belt. 5's a mate to the lot 1 barrel that we're starting to sail off with. Her sister, Lot 6, will sell with her. We showed you her a bit earlier. She's in a different pen. She's a thin belt, kind of thicker gilt, but would be out of the same sow, this calico that is, that raised the Grand at Michigan State Livestock Show 2 years ago, which is a pretty tough competitive show. Really, really like this gilt. She's a different league. She is built awesome. She's got a little bit more lateness and maturity to her than what some of those will have. And I think that's just right on the money if you're wanting a gilt to show this summer, no matter where you're wanting to go. This one fits the bill. Gilt show, athleticism, very, very, very impressive. Makes a great sow in the end. The mama there, again, is a lit fuse short bus. Really impressive mama to look at that's obviously gotten some big things done for our program. Lot 14 is the thin belt. Tricked out 6'8" in game is her pedigree. Would be a mate to the 12, 13 barrows we showed you a little earlier. Lots of bone and hair and substance here. I've been putting her on a couple, short lists of pigs that people's asking for to try to be competitive as county fair hogs because I don't want people to miss her. And, I know she's a gilt, but this kind can win. We have some tough county fairs. I don't want you to think that we don't think she can play on a big level. But that one could win a lot of stuff, I think. Muscle-wise, bone-wise, look-wise, she's really impressive. Probably it's got a lot of mileage in her. She could probably get through the summer no matter where you want to show. You want to go to a big state fair gilt show, I think she fits that bill too. So, again, she is 14. Little Calico is 5.
Really good pair. I loved this 14 when we looked earlier this morning. When you think about buying gilts for depth of quality of litter, this is the one here. And like Russell said, I think she can show for a long time. Show her early, show her every weekend, be competitive, show her all the way in through August and maybe beyond. And then the calico, when you think about later maturing and big ring kind, that's the kind that fits the bill. She's flexible off both ends of her skeleton. She's got look. She's got design. I think one that would be fun to feed and then one to be fun to put in the sow herd.
Well, these are our last two to show you, and again, I want to say thanks to the kids that's helped us. They've been working hard tonight. This preview's taken a little time, and we appreciate your patience, but good job, Palin, Jax, Talon, Harley, Reese, everybody that's been in and out of the ring here. We really appreciate. You guys are really helping us to show these pigs off to folks. Lots of folks will get to see this online, and so thank you very much for your time. Jax has got lot 8. That's the belted gilt. Palin has got lot 15. That's the calico gilt. So Palin's calico is a mate to the 14 belt we just showed you. Tricked out 6'8". End game is the pedigree there. Very similar if we had them in together. You could see that I would say they're almost identical, just other than color. The belt might be just a little heavier boned bone-wise, but this calico, you get her head up and get her out there. She patterns up awesome. She's got a big old chest in her, big hind leg working in her as well. Jax's 8, excuse me, is a mate to 7 and 9. Those two have a little more to them as far as muscle and power goes. This one's definitely the latest maturing of that litter. That's the different league end-game litter. That's been really impressive. I don't know that this one isn't the best in the end of the three of them. It's really hard to say. She's definitely not as thick-ended as her sisters, but her running gear is tremendous. Probably winds up being one that could be like a great CYA kind of gilt, great gilt to show at maybe Indiana State Fair or something like that, and wind up in somebody's sow herd. We get a lot done with this kind. We really like this kind. If the sows in our herd all kind of had this build, we'd be very happy. But that's the lot 8 again that Jax has got, and then the calico is 15.
It's a really good pair to end on here for the preview. They are gilts that I think can win every pig show in the country if you project their maturity. But they are gilts that I think if you are trying to buy to make the next generation better, I would pay attention. This calico is one this morning that we just kept gravitating towards. We just kept saying, "What's that one's tag again? What's the, where are the litter mates? What are we thinking?" She just demands your attention with presence and look and profile and design and bone, even color pattern. I mean, you're just always going to keep looking towards a pig like that. That 15, I think, is one that would be a whole lot of fun to have on feed for a long time. And then 8, you talk about depth of quality with a litter and buying gilts that you're comfortable and confident in what they can do long past their show career. That's her. Because the litter's good, and the look and profile she gives you is very good as well. They're 2 really good gilts to end on. They're 2 gilts I would tell anybody that are trying to make their sow herd better I would buy. I would just like to say I appreciate Russell and the Ottenwalter crew having me. Always, if you have any questions, contact me, reach out. Happy to answer, happy to help. But it's been a darn good set of pigs that we've previewed today, and I think they can do a lot of good things.
Well, and just to add to that, thank you guys. You can let them out. Jax has got 8, almost half whip broke for you. So good job on that. Yeah, like Clay says, good note to end on. Our preview tomorrow is at 10. It's just in person for those folks that are coming tomorrow. You want to see them in person, come at 10. The sale starts at 1. That's our time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central Time. You probably won't see me in the morning if you're coming here, but please reach out, text, call me. I'm going to get up real early for those folks in the Midwest to get back to some of you guys. But all our numbers are listed, mine, Clay's, Dustin's, Blake Kennedy's as well. Please reach out, and we look forward to a good sale tomorrow. Thank you.